Off 105 yards rushing, 1 TD, 69 yards and a touchdown.
There is Mark Killam looking to get his team in the win column for the 3rd straight game in a row. He'll be leaning on that dual threat all-purpose yardage of Justin Rankin and Bob Dice right here at home. As I say, 1-3 last year. The Ottawa REDBLACKS 7-1-1. It is time for them to get back to their winning ways and see whether or not they can do it here as Javon Leake stands back ready to return. He's victimized Ottawa previously when he was with the Toronto Argonauts before signing in free agency with Edmonton. It is a new feel with the Elks organization. They have got the ball rolling right now, and Lewis Ward has it on the tee as we get things going right here in Ottawa as the Elks will return on a 27-degree evening in the nation's capital to the 37-yard line, and out comes Cody Fajardo in the Edmonton offense.
Excited about what Cody's done the last couple of weeks, and the interesting thing, we're going to talk a lot about Rankin today, Justin Rankin, and I think one of the best things Cody's doing is throwing so many checkdowns to Rankin, getting the ball in his hands, as well as Cody's used his legs, and he's brought the deep ball back to this offensive unit, and obviously his ability to complete passes that we've talked about off the top of the show. His completion percentage through the roof.
25 of 31 against Toronto last week, 80.6%. As Fajardo faces the blitz here on the first snap offensively of the ball game, goes underneath. It is Tanner Green in the flats, and he cuts it back for a first down across the 50-yard line as we get a look at the rest of the Edmonton offense, which didn't think Tanner Green was getting the first touch of the ball game, Lapo.
Had a great interview with David Baird this week. It's a dream for him to come back to Edmonton and be with his old coach, now president of the Elks, Chris Morris. And I just talked about it, Justin Rankin. The last time these two teams played, 105 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, 1 touchdown receiving off the 70 yards this season.
Fajardo going to the flats on first down. This time pumps as Darius Pickett gets a look, and this one off the hands, incomplete. Intended for Keon Julian Grant, who played the hero with 2 touchdowns a couple of weeks ago against Montreal, as the REDBLACKS defense will line up across from Fajardo like this.
Bryce Carter, lead from JMU, leads the team with 3 sacks, plays with great effort on the perimeter. He's fun to watch. Ace Ely moves into the middle linebacker. Santos Knox moves to the will linebacker with the injury to Davion Taylor. And King Ambers draws the start. Looking forward to seeing this kid. Halfback, first-year player, 8th-round pick in the CFL draft this year.
Bryce Carter leading Ottawa when it comes to sacks as this one rolls over the hand of Fajardo. Will pull it incomplete on the ground on 2nd and 10, and so a quick 3-play drive shutting things down is the Ottawa defense, and they'll send out the hero of last week if they would have gone on to victory. Still the hero in my books, Khalil Pimpleton to return.
Yeah, Khalil obviously has been doing a little bit of double duty, playing receiver and doing returns with the injury to Devontae Dedmon, and Khalil has stood up, is able to, they try to get him out a little bit, and you know, maybe on a first down pass, the first plays of the game of the offense, but he's going to be the primary returner, and he's a dynamic receiver in the offense.
Vincent Blanchard handling the responsibilities with Cody Grace out of the lineup as Pimpleton catches this one at his own 15, tries to get away and thrown down quickly. Brock Mogensen down there in special teams coverage as it is Dustin Crum at the helm here tonight for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. His first call, some guy named Paul Lapalisse called him while he was sitting on the couch at his college house. Here he is getting the start of week 12. Dustin Crum up against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in relief last week, and everybody was watching this game, I'm sure, at home going, he's not going to be able to throw them back into this thing. 11 of 17, 125, used his legs a little bit as well. An impressive performance in relief, Lapo.
The thing he's really trying to do, we're talking to him this week, he's like, obviously I got the ability to use my legs. It's something I've always done early in my career, high school all the way through college. I got to prove to the people in Ottawa that I can throw the football to win football games, not just use my legs.
Interesting, the rewiring of the mind that he spoke of this week. They'll begin on the ground regardless as it's handed off. And going nowhere is the Ottawa starting offense around Dustin Crum. It includes Daniel Adebaboye, who gets the touch there.
Darius Blaydick, congratulations, 100th career game for the 8th-year player from Bethune-Cookman. Justin Hardy, 5 TDs in the last 3 games. And he's tied for number 2 in the CFL with 6 receiving touchdowns. Really good player, Justin. East Carolina veteran. multiple teams, multiple NFL teams before he came up here into the CFL a couple years ago.
I believe he's only in his 4th year in the Canadian Football League for Justin Hardy. He's had such an impact already as Hardy is the target and throwing to the sticks for an Ottawa first down. It is complete, brought down by J.J. Ross, but Hardy gets a gain of 12.
Very smart by Hardy. The corner is going to recognize this, and he's going to start to fall in. Hardy settles down. Crum tries to protect this throw right here, but Hardy does it with his hands. Starts to go in and then come out. High points the ball. Makes the great catch in traffic. J.J. Ross can't make the play. Good play by Justin Hardy, showing his great hand-eye coordination.
Williams Stanback takes the ball, faking. Crum looks to load it up, comes to the backside, wide open. It's Hardy running through the middle of coverage all the way out to the 55. And once again, Ottawa's offense on the move, a gain of 25 that time for number 2.
Crum, little play-action pass, then looking to the backside, trying to move the underneath linebackers. Move them, get Hardy behind him, clear out in front for him. Get your primary targeted receiver, one of the tops in the CFL, another catch.
Tommy Condell playing fantasy football right now. How about having Geno Lewis line up alongside Justin Hardy and trying to open up the coverage as Dustin Crum checks at the line of scrimmage. Anthony Gosselin, the fullback, in the ball game here as Crum steps up. Thinks about using the legs and now trying to escape and going nowhere. A sack on first down for a loss of 5 yards as Justin Hardy and his sensational efforts. It was on full display in Manitoba just last week.
First play of the game, what do? Put your best receiver, one of your best receivers, to the wide side of the field and go throw him a comeback to start the game. Look at him high point, find that play on the outside, pick it up. You always talk about wide receivers. Hey, when you make contested catch, if you keep your balance, DB's always going to fall down. He does that perfectly, create a huge explosive play.
Hard count here as Crum almost catches Edmonton in an all-out blitz. 2nd and 14. They thought about sending the heat. Now they'll bail out. Crum steps up in the pocket. He's going to try to earn it the hard way with his legs. Keelan White outside, can't get a block, and chopped down goes Dustin Crum as the defense flies up and ends this one off in short succession as Jalen Garnes that time makes the tackle.
And that's the thing that has to happen for Dustin Crum. You're 2nd and 14 here. You've got to be able to stay in the pocket or slide left, slide right, and find throws. They're very seldomly, versus a zone coverage, is the quarterback going to be able to scramble for a 14-yard gain. So he's got to become a pocket passer in some of these longer yardage situations.
Leone gets set to send this one away, and it's a partial block. The ball will roll down in between the narrow hashes, picked up by Edmonton. And it will be great starting field position here as Leone gave it a chase, but Mark Killam, coming from his special teams background, dials it up. And who got the hand on it up front? Was it Noah Taylor getting the touch on Leone's boot? Edmonton with the rock when we return.
Noah Taylor gets in, gets a hand on it right here. Okay, that's Marco Dubai. Can't get out right there. You can see Noah Taylor on the inside. Kenny Onyeka lets him release inside. Allows a clear lane for him to go get a piece of that block. Noah Taylor uses his long frame to go ahead and make a play. His 6'5" frame to go get it. I think he hurt his hand on Richie Leone.
Man, that hurts. It's worth it. Helps by about 30 yards in field position, but I think a little thunk onto the fingers that time as Taylor felt it. Clearly, as Cody Fajardo, 8-1 in his career against the Ottawa REDBLACKS. And here's how we looked against the Toronto Argonauts last week.
273 yards, you can see right here. Had some huge shots downfield. The big thing, though, you know, he had 1 touchdown. He only had 1 interception. That's the thing he's done a good job of. He's protected the ball very well since he's taken over. 0 sacks. This Edmonton Elks defense are getting better every week. They had a couple of sacks a couple of weeks ago. Multiple sacks, but they've gotten better each and each game.
Cody sends Keon Julian Grant in motion into the boundary. That's the direction he looks originally. And then comes underneath. It's Curly Gittens Jr., fellow Canadian, making the grab up near the sticks. We'll see where they spot it. Yeah, it looks like a first down here for Edmonton.
Good picture, and this is what you want by Curly Gittens Jr. Cody's looking to the left of the screen. He doesn't like the picture to his left. If you watch his eyes right here, he's looking to his left. He just doesn't like the picture. Watch him start to turn his eyes. Good spacing. Curly Gittens Jr. is on the underneath, so now I can't throw to my left. I flip my eyes, flip my hips, and you can throw it right over the middle for the completion.
Andy Ellie, the one that finishes that off, is now they go with a little pop pass, and it is Keon Julian Grant who gets the touch, and he'll take that one. All passing yards for Cody Fajardo since he didn't actually hand it off. And it looks like a gain of 12, maybe 13 yards on the play.
Little chest pass. So this is what's happening. These are called wrong way runs. He's probably going to arc, and then you send one this direction. Everybody else is going that way. So all the defensive line and all the linebackers go in one direction, and then you block down, pull people around. Certain wrong way runs can help you eliminate blocks on the perimeter.
Darius Pickett blitzes off the edge, and Fajardo throws directly into it, reaching the football forward once again. Looks like Tanner Green might be the outlet here against the blitz over the middle of the field. You mentioned that arc block. That's something that Jordan McSimic in this offense with their running attack has used a whole lot of, which is essentially bending around the edge and trying to find who's the next man you have to hit.
And let's talk about Jordan McSimic. The one thing I asked him about this defense, he said, you better have a Darius Pickett plan. And that's what they have to do. Why? Because he's so close to the box. They pressure him. You saw him blitz on that last play. What did Cody do? He threw right into that space. They have to have things to control him in the run and pass.
Inside run here on 2nd down and 3 goes to the 1st down. McSimic saying this week, as you say, yeah, the whole plan is based around number 6. It's like no disrespect to anybody else. We had to build the game plan around a Darius Pickett.
And what does that mean? That means some of your run plays, when you're worried about the strong side linebacker blitzing, you're going to build RPOs. You're going to have a pass built into there, and that way, okay, if Pickett wants to come, we're going to throw in that space, or we're going to have throws on the other side of the field, because we're not going to let that guy affect us in the run game. And that was a big key for Jordan McSimic this week, is we've got to minimize Pickett. We have to be the bouncers, don't allow him into the party, I guess, something around that. No party started here on Edmonton offense.
See McSimic having a smile in the booth, maybe enjoying the way that Cody Fajardo is operating this offense to get things going in the 1st quarter as they flip it out. Justin Rankin trying to show off the legs. And an extended run essentially that time, as he is a true dual threat. Career high 179 yards from scrimmage against Toronto last week.
I really like what happened on this football play defensively. Pickett's he's getting double teamed. What happens on the outside? Here comes King Ambers in his first start, 1st round draft pick. You know, he had a great interception last week, but he's getting the start at field halfback. This is not an easy thing to do. Tackling, forcing Rankin back to it, all his help. King Ambers, nice start of the game.
Well, MTA with Rankin into the flats over the middle. Curly Gittens Jr. double catches it. Not sure he would have got there even if he caught it clean, but for now, it is short of the sticks, and quickly Edmonton sends out the field goal unit.
Nice drive on the road. Couple nice completions underneath. Red Blacks got to be happy Justin Rankin hasn't gotten a lot of yards.
You can really see the influence on that drive of, double blocking and Darius Pickett. Well, it leaves a body out front. Blocking Pickett in the running game. Well, somebody else makes the tackle, right? It's like they're just not going to let him be the one that influences things here tonight in Ottawa, as Vincent Blanchard gets set to knock this one through from 33 yards away. Will Pimpleton with the 117-yard touchdown return against Winnipeg last week. And he'll get no chance to touch this one here. It's the 2nd meeting of 2025 for these two clubs. A 39-33 victory for Edmonton earlier on this season against Ottawa. Welcome back to Ottawa. There is Dustin Crum standing in the huddle, known for his running ability, but trying to evolve as a passer as well. With more, here's Kenzie Lalonde.
Yeah, Marshall, growing up, Dustin Crum was one of the strongest runners on his team. So why wouldn't he run the ball? If that was the best chance for the team to gain yards, of course he would take off. But he knows that can't be his only tool in his toolbox here in the CFL. So he's really trying to retool his mind, knows that he needs to stay deep in the pocket and keep his eyes focused downfield on his options. Tommy Condell is a good saying, don't abort abort the passing mission.
Yeah, don't give up on it, as that time they hand it off, and Crum no chance. But seeing Tommy Condell trying to dial up this offense, Lapo, and he's trying to find creative ways to use the skill set of Dustin Crum while also not leaning singularly on, let's just let him rip around and have some fun.
Yeah, he talked about, you know, we got to get some screen passes, easy throws to him, but we can't be a check down all game. We have to push the ball downfield when we get opportunities. And certainly using his legs is good, but you have to have other opportunities to get the ball downfield.
Interesting here as well. They lose 3 on first down. They go to the line of scrimmage quickly, change the tempo of the game, go hard count. And then Crum resets and will look to throw it down the field as now against a 4-man rush. He tries to use those legs, and he gets just enough to not have it go down as a sack for Jake Serezna, but great pursuit from the Edmonton front 4.
Yeah, and once again, the Red Blacks got 2 second and extra opportunities. So you just can't live in a world of second and extra. Doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. When you're in second and extra, conversions do not happen. So they got to be better on their first down productivity, make sure they can give him a chance. Because as you see, this pass rush is going to force him to scramble, and they're going to make the tackle, and you're never going to be close to the first down.
It's interesting asking Crum about, you know, why are you going ahead so much with all the rushing? He said, there's no reason not to, as this one is an absolute rocket off the right foot of Richie Leone, who sends it all the way down the field, flips field position, gets the single on the board. As flags come up, we'll clean them up on the other side for you. Edmonton with an early 3-0 lead in the first quarter, looking for the sweep against Ottawa for the first time since 2019. The hit HBO original docuseries is back with an unprecedented all-access look at the top team in the National Football League. It's Hard Knocks, training with the Buffalo Bills, now streaming only on Crave.
A little bias there, Marshall? Huh?
JA17, it's my guy. As you see Richie Leone and the punting unit back out on the field. Flags came up at the end of the play. Andre Proulx is our referee here tonight, discussing things after Leone bombed that punt over the head of Javon Leake, gave no chance to return it. And you saw Leone as we went to break having a little conversation maybe with Leake, going, hey, maybe don't stand so shallow. You know I got a leg, right?
And holding penalty brings him back, forces a re-kick. And congratulations to Richie Leone. This is his 150th game tonight. Had a great career. I was fortunate enough to spend a couple years with him with the Red Blacks. I enjoyed him as a professional and a pro. So congrats on the 150, Richie.
Outstanding punter. But you got to tell me, inside the locker room, seems like one of the true personalities of the CFL as well. Interesting guy.
Gets along very well with everybody on the team. He's been a good leader for this unit.
And he understands the rules of the game as well.
Prior to the ball being kicked, holding, Ottawa number 53, 10-yard penalty. We're going to replay third down.
So got Peter Adjei, the long snapper there out of Queens, but I was about to say he understands the rule of the game, so he's constantly chasing down any punts, any tips like we saw earlier on, getting into the middle of the fray, very similar to Cody Grace, who unfortunately is out tonight on the other side, the punter usually for the Edmonton Elks. As this snap comes back from Adjei after the penalty goes against him, and a high wobbler will drop down to the 21-yard line. There's Javon Leake. Is tackled at around the 32-yard line. Let's go down for the first time here tonight to the one, the only Luke Wilson.
Early on here, there's been a bit of a chess match going on with Darius Pickett. If you watch here, and Cody's been on top of it. But Ottawa's bringing him right now, and Cody has these very simple answers. So I love to see how this will develop. Again, if you look at Pickett, he's at the top of the screen here. He's going to come, and Cody sees it early, and he goes right to his fullback, Green. Easy pitch and catch. Green makes a man miss, and all of a sudden, again, it almost seems too easy here. We got a first down. We come later on. Again, 1st and 10. Pickett comes. We replace the blitzer with the ball. Again, these are simple plays, but it keeps you on schedule. It'll be interesting to see if Otto continues to bring Pickett, because Cody's had the answer for it. Here he comes again.
Trying to feed off it again. A simple answer right on cue is, whoa, Green looking up over the top. He got Elijah McGee. Oh, fullback hurdle. You don't see that every day. And somewhere Dwayne Ford smiles.
Yes, and another throw out to the fullback, as Luke just talked about, Luke, right there. You know, that's all they talked about this week. We got to make sure when Pickett comes, we got to get the ball out of our hands, and they're doing it very well, Luke.
Last 4 games for Edmonton. Fajardo, 6 touchdown passes, 76% completion rate on simple little throws like this, because he's processing the offense at a very high level for Jordan Maksimic, who's dialing it up for him here after designing the offense for Trey Ford in the offseason. But Ford on the bench, Fajardo in the game, and now a handoff bullying his way across the 55 and inside Ottawa's 50. Javon Leake.
Pulling linemen back to the side where you're running the football creates an extra gap. You can see the tackle pulling around the horn, takes the end man on the line of scrimmage, creates an extra gap that they don't have accounted for. Nice easy run up and inside. Pulling offensive linemen to help get some easy runs. Javon Leake.
David Beard, center, diagnosing protections here, blocking schemes, as that's exactly why they try to go away from Darius Pickett, as he is once again at the bottom of the pile as Javon Leake gets yet another touch. But Pickett, one of the top tacklers in the Canadian Football League, especially when you combine special teams tackles. He does it in every facet.
Yeah, and his, the hardest part of this strong side linebacker, or Sam linebacker, or nickel, people call it, is they have to play in the box and be a tackler. They have to have the physicality, but you also have to go out and cover in zone and play man coverage. So that's why this is such a difficult spot to play in the game, and that's why he's such a special player.
Wide splits here for the receivers of Edmonton. They'll empty it out 3 by 3. They go underneath. Curly Gittens Jr. makes the grab, makes the first man miss, and then reaches the football out and secures the first down once again for the Elks.
So this is the difference of having manageable first down situations. There's one low zone player. There's nobody else on the field. I'm going to go ahead and run it. And as you watch, right here, you can see there's an underneath player in that space where the zone is. But it's only a 6-yard gain, and that's going to get you to first down when you've managed your first down plays.
Nice quick flip and rip that time. Into the waiting arms of Arkel Smith as Fajardo in a total rhythm right now at the end of the first quarter. That one a gain of 15 on a simple little inside out.
Yeah, Arkel just jumps back inside, and there's a lot of zone played by the Red Blacks here right now. They're in zone. Cody's finding the spots in the zone and picking it apart.
Edmonton offensive line breaks the huddle. Fresh set of downs here once again on a sweltering night in the nation's capital. And Fajardo off to a very hot start. Green to the flats once again this time. Fajardo pushes the ball vertical, and it is complete once again. Benjamin Victor reaching inside the 5-yard line, and Edmonton, fantastic flow for a gain of 19 at the end of the first quarter. Looking to continue their momentum of the last 2 victories are the Elks. Your numbers after 1 quarter of play here in Ottawa. A win would be Cody Fajardo's 3rd in a row. The last Edmonton quarterback to get 3 straight starts with a victory. Michael Riley back in 2018. It's just a 3-point advantage right now. But Edmonton's offense with a great scoring opportunity here to start the second quarter lap on it. Feels like their offense with Jordan Maksimic calling the plays is really in a rhythm.
A lot of changes in the Red Black secondary this game. So, I think they're going to be in a lot more zone coverage, and that's where Cody lives, and he's able to see these holes in the defense and get some of the easy throws and get the ball out of his hand quickly. And you can see Jordan Maksimic saying, hey, we might push the ball, put the ball in Cody's hands a little bit more than running the football in scenarios. And that's what you do when you got a guy who is completing at such a high level. And, you're facing a team that's going to void some areas of the zones.
Cody Fajardo in the offense digs in. Curly Gittens Jr. in motion here as Fajardo turns, hands it off. Javon Leake diving towards the end zone and turned around in short order. It is Lamont flying up from his free safety spot. The only man that could make the stop did, and Edmonton goes quickly back to the line of scrimmage.
DeAndre Lamont from the free safety position. He's not going to be blocked on these plays down at the goal line. They won't have an answer for him.
Fajardo digs in, dives forward, touchdown Edmonton. And extending the lead is Cody Fajardo. No need for a short yardage quarterback here.
Nice touchdown here. You go tempo here, so they went no huddle after they noticed that, hey, listen, we didn't get in. Go tempo, try to play faster than the opponent, try to make sure they're not set. And the other thing that could happen to the defense is they could line up offsides because you're going with so much tempo. Good decision here, going tempo, get the easy touchdown. You know you're going to call a quarterback sneak again. No reason to huddle up. Good execution by the Elks.
Just get on the ball and go. Simple stuff, excellent execution, and it leads to the touchdown for Cody Fajardo as Vincent Blanchard knocks through the extra point, and it's a double-digit advantage for the Edmonton Elks as Fajardo finding a way, smiling on the sidelines alongside Trey Ford, who started the year as the starter.
Luca and Kean, I love you.
Saying hi to everybody back home, and plenty of love being shared throughout this offense as Fajardo distributes it to even the fullback out the flat several times early on this drive.
8 plays, 78-yard drive for the touchdown. Leak getting involved, some easy throws on the perimeter, good yardage, deep dig in the middle of the field versus the zone. Just easy opportunities when you're facing zone teams to get some of those easy throws. Cody's going to make you pay. He's seen all those pictures in the zone.
Ottawa winning 6 of their last 9 meetings with Edmonton, but Cody Fajardo extremely successful against the Red Blacks, especially in his time with the Montreal Alouettes, as he played so many games in the East Division. And you can see how relaxed he is, comfortable in this offense right now. And next time he gets the football back, Ottawa's defense going to have to make some adjustments. I'm sure they're working that through on the sideline, as well as Trey Ford and Cody talk things through and watch the same plays we just did.
Yeah, and Cody, you know, versus Ottawa, he's 8-1. He's got 10 touchdowns, so only 1 interception during that time. So, you know, the Red Blacks got to do something to disrupt him and slow him down. Do something to make it more difficult for him.
Will Pimpleton brings this one across the 20, the 25, and almost a high tackle, but swat him down around the 27-yard line. As there you see J.C. Sherritt, the defensive coordinator, and he is coordinating this starting defense for Edmonton.
Jared Brinkman is one of the top players in the Canadian Football League of creating tackles for losses. He will dent the pocket with his frame. Niles Morgan, first 47 defensive tackles this year. He's a beast on the inside. And Royce Metier draws the start at free safety. Came over from Toronto as part of the free agent bonanza here in the company. He's been injured the last 3 games. I'm sure they're excited to have him in the game.
Rush defense extremely strong in the Canadian Football League for the last couple of weeks. Stingy, and J.C. Sherritt trying to lean on that. Stop Crum and his legs here tonight as flags come up. And did he take too long to get the snap off?
Time violation. Ottawa number 18. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
So Dustin Crum, back in his career in college, did do this. A lot of no-huddle plays at the line of scrimmage. I believe this is the 3rd one we've seen so far, Marshall. And, you know, trying to give him some pictures, some comfort levels plays he's done. He just can't put himself in these penalty situations.
Well, the one that always bothers you, Coach, is that you come off the sideline, first play of a drive. Ugh.
Yes.
Timer, please reset the game clock. Thank you.
So he did what I would call a Kodak. He hard counted, which means he did a cadence, looked at the defense, then they changed to a certain play, whether Tommy Condell told him that play or not.
Quick rush this time to give. Will Pimpleton makes the grab. And gets punished for his efforts flying up from the corner that time to make the tackle is J.J. Ross, but they earn about 7, maybe 8 yards back, and now it's 2nd and manageable.
This is what you do when you're 1st and 15. You throw the ball, you get an 8-yard gain. You don't want to be sitting at 2nd and extra. Now you're 2nd and 7, much more manageable.
And again, back to the line of scrimmage. It seems like they want to do a lot of this here tonight for the Red Blacks. Get up to the line quickly, hard count, let Crum operate at the line of scrimmage, use his mind. I mentioned off the top lap of the aeronautical engineer. As he'll step away from the pressure and throws this one into double coverage. Gino Lewis somehow makes the grab. And Joel DeBlanco right there to bring down Lewis.
DeBlanco does a nice job with this tackle. DeBlanco picks up the crossing route. You can see him chase across the field. It's hard to cover a linebacker to cover a receiver going across the field, but he's in a good position to get there, stay in a great position. Cordell Jackson's coming down. Good job by the Elks defense.
Ottawa will have to send this one away once again. Wobbling spiral to the 30-yard line. Javon Leak. Little jump cut. Breaks across the 45. Got some room to run. Outruns the punter across the 50. special teams barrage in 2025 continues on an 80-yard punt return touchdown.
This is deja vu of the last time these two teams played. He had a huge punt return for a touchdown. Once again, catches it in the air, makes one move up and inside. Pickett can't make the tackle, bounces back outside. Very difficult for the punter to make the play. Once he gets to the wide side of the field, nobody left. Leak, once again, hurts this Red Black special teams unit. Like I said, had a punt return touchdown the last time they played week 5. Here's another big one for the Elks on the road.
Be careful what you wish for if you're Richie Leone, because just a couple of punts ago, he wandered down the field and said, Javon Leak, hey, you know I got a leg, right? You might as well back up. He kicked it over his head. That time, Leak stood back far enough to receive it and did some major damage as Vincent Blanchard knocks it through as well. In for a touchdown, Javon Leak untouchable. Now been 31 defensive or kick return touchdowns in 2025, and this one adds on to the pile that we've seen throughout this season. What's going on, Lapo? Why is everybody going on these long johns?
Amazing, and this is for Leak. This is his 6th career return for a touchdown in 50 games, and there's that guy Rankin cheering him on.
And Justin Rankin watching on the sideline, fixing his gloves, going, all right, it's time for me to get my hands on the rock. Ah, you know what? Never mind. I don't have to touch the football. Mark Killam loves it. As the special teams already for Edmonton here having a partially blocked punt, now a punt return touchdown as well.
And I want to make this point, you know, as being somebody who is going against the Elks for a number of years, special teams was not a strong suit. Mark Killam's done a great job as a special teams head coach. This crew playing better.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like a big upgrade as Daniel Adeboboye returns this out to the 25-yard line in a 17-0 hole right now for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. A little refuel on the sideline there and see what Ottawa's offense can do.
Now, every special teams coordinator is going to say, well, I'm a really good special teams coordinator when I have a really good returner.
Right.
And, you know, signing Javon Leak 2 years ago was a huge move for this organization. Now you got Mark there who can help them. For years, they could not develop a returner. They've got the returner in the building. They got the coach. He's done a good job helping their special teams.
If Dustin Crump answers the question, is now he goes with a little sneaky double count and hands this one off inside Edmonton's defense, all over it once again as Adeboboye into the ball game, and standing tout right in the front is Niles Morgan.
Well, and the thing that since the bye week, this Elks defense has gotten so much better at stopping the run. And that's, you know, when you make teams one-dimensional, that's what you want to do. And, you know, like last week, the Argonauts had 29 yards rushing in the entire game. I'm not sure if that's an Argonauts thing or if that's the Elks, but the Elks have been improving every week, stopping the run.
2nd down and 7 against just a 3-man rush. It'll be Crump, checked down Adeboboye, gets north-south quickly and earns the 1st down. They move the chains. It's a gain of 10.
And this is what you're going to get from the Elks defense. They're going to say, Dustin Crump, we're going to show you zone pictures all night. You got to see if you can read the coverage and find the throws. This check down works because it's 2nd and 7, because they're a positive yardage on 1st and 10. That gets them in a position where you can check this ball down when they do drop out in zone and be good.
Screen this time and off the hands. Gino Lewis incomplete on 1st and 10, something that crept into Gino's game in Ottawa in the first couple of weeks of the season. Some uncharacteristic drops, but has had a really strong last month, and this one just bounces off the palms.
Yeah, Gino's, you know, certainly he's tied for 2nd in the CFL in targets. This organization brought him in to keep getting him touches however they can. Easy throws on the perimeter, just got to see the ball in his hands.
Trying to use him in some different ways too, right? It's not just the vertical guy. Tommy Condell said we like the vertical stuff. We recruited him for the vertical stuff free agency, but we know he can do a lot more. They're trying to access that as now Crump will step out of the pocket to his right. They'll try to use his legs, those long strides, and he bounces off a tackle attempt, throws his body past the markers for another Ottawa 1st down.
And that's what players love about Dustin Crump. He's a physical football player. He's going to deliver he is going to deliver the blow when he takes off and scrambles. Can't find anybody. Sees a little bit of man coverage. I'm going to take it. I'm going to find a way to get the first down myself.
In case you're wondering, the guy that was the speed bump there was Niles Morgan, all 6'2", 240, running at full speed. And Dustin Crum, a quarterback, bounces off of him. Down 38 pounds officially on the depth chart. But Crum's physicality and the strides, it's just he finds a way and gets banged up in the process here with his elbow having a little bit of blood. Yeah, his days at Kent State, he threw the ball very well in college, but he had the ability to run. And you always want quarterbacks, you want throwers who can run. And guys who've got the ability to use their legs, but they can throw the football. Feels like the temperature turning up right now on this Ottawa offense. They sense the urgency of the moment, down by 17 as they'll flip it out. Pimpleton on the screen. Play is absolutely blown up as immediately it's Kobe Williams flying in and ending the drive that had some promise. Tried to get him on a quick count, so they're doing a little screen pass out here, but you got to keep an eye on Kobe Williams. What happens here is Keelan White misses the block. Kobe Williams going so fast, you can't wait for that block to happen. You just got to engage right now. You see White right here. He gets beat by Kobe Williams. You got to engage. These defensive backs are so athletic. Once you break down within 3 to 4 yards, you got to go make the block. You can't let him run by you. Tough watch on film. That one will be for the 3rd overall pick from this year's CFL draft. Keelan White is the backward spiraling boot, drops down. And Javon Leake gets his hands on it with flags coming down as well as Kobe Williams and the Edmonton defense making J.C. Sherritt proud. And the running game flying in as well to blow up the screen. They have control 17-0 on Friday Night Football. The Women's Rugby World Cup is right around the corner. Catch Canada's first game of the tournament against Fiji tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on TSN. They picked up the flag on the previous play here, got pushed into the play, and so tuck that one back into the back pocket and go to work for the Edmonton offense. David Beard pointing things out in the middle, returning back to Edmonton, back home. Trying to get the most of what he deems to be a re-energized Elks club. This guy's had a lot to do with that. Justin Rankin, plenty of success last time he played against the Ottawa REDBLACKS, and he's been doing it all season long. 69 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns in this first game they played. He was a force running the football, raking tackles, and creating big plays. You heard Stavros talk about it in the pregame show. He's got the longest run in the CFL this season. A lot of running backs are great running backs. They just don't have that 2nd or 3rd gear. This kid has that 2nd or 3rd gear to take it to the house every time he gets a crease. Edmonton at 3-6. I guess the conversation becomes, do they have to have more wins in order for him to get into the MOP conversation more consistently? As Cody Fajardo pumps, puts his head down, runs through 2 tacklers, and then crosses the 40 all the way up to the 50, and Cody takes a seat. That one's good for a run of 30 yards right through the heart of the REDBLACKS defense. Can't find anybody. The protection holds up. Then a huge space shows up. Cody splits the defense. You got to go wrap up. He doesn't use his hands, just tries to knock him down. Cody's too strong for this. You can't just try to give him a hit. You've got to take him down and wrap him up. He's going to break the tackle every time. Fajardo with the heavy set in, will fake the run, flip his hips around, and it's Curly Gittens Jr. spinning away from contact that time as the Ottawa defense flowing to the football quickly and holds Gittens Jr. to a minimal gain. Gavin Helslop comes down from his deep safety position, comes down, makes a nice tackle, recognizes the screen pass, comes down, nice play, first-year player from Stony Brook. Make some substitutions. Here's Phil Krahovic out of Western Ontario, goes back to the sideline alongside Tanner Green, and they'll spread things out. I haven't said this name so far tonight. Stephen Dunbar Jr., the lone receiver at the bottom of your screen, as now he's joined by Justin Rankin. Fajardo looks for Dunbar, intercepted. The REDBLACKS get a takeaway, something that Edmonton has not done much of at all so far this season, protecting the football. A strong suit, just 13 giveaways, regardless of who's at quarterback. But this time, it's Fajardo straight into the waiting hands of Ayende Ellie. And Ottawa's got great field position, down 17.
Ace LA gets the interception in the middle of the field. Watch right here. He's going to be here as the back releases out. They're going to run a dig route, and on that dig route, Ace is just going to find the watch. He's going to open to the field. Cody recognizes it. Then he tries to sneak the dig in. Ace fooled him by reading his eyes, comes back to make this interception. Huge play for the Red Blacks. Flip the field, create some momentum for this offense.
And something that Edmonton hasn't done very much, especially in their 2-game win streak right now after starting the year in tough. As Crum checks it down, William Stanback gets some momentum going forward, run through 2 tacklers, the third, and it takes a 4th man to finally bring down William Stanback.
Nice play action here. Stanback getting the underneath check down. I love this. This is a deep shot. There's multiple receivers going deep into the boundary. Dustin Crum doesn't like the picture. The protection's great, so he checks it down to William Stanback. The term I always use, you're not going to go broke putting money in the bank. Give it to him. Create a first down on first down, throwing a check down.
Dustin Crum so far on the season trying to lean on that consistent delivery and passing game. 62%, but upping that right now as they hand it off inside. It's a gain of 6, 2nd down and 4.
This is good, staying on schedule, especially in this area of the field. You're sitting right now on you've got a field goal. You don't want to lose any yardage on this area of the field. Just finish this drive with a kick, whether it's an extra point or a field goal.
Fajardo just 3 incompletions so far in the ball game. One of those, the interception to Ace Ellie, that ends up setting up Ottawa with solid field position. Fajardo watches from the sideline here as Crum, 7 of 8, 76 yards so far in the first half. Fakes the run, pressure's on, Crum steps forward, complete, Keelan White inside the 5, dives to the end zone, and looks like he's wrapped up just shy. They'll spot it at the 1.
2nd and short, you get a lot more man coverage. Take a shot to the throw to the wide side of the field. Keelan White is motioning across the field. He comes all the way across. What's hard? It's hard for the field corner to chase all the way across the field. And when that happens, Terrell Ford gets in a trail position. Keelan White makes the catch all the way down to the looks like 1 or 2 yard line. But the hardest part for sometimes those field corners is chase all the way across. I like the call in 2nd and short. Gives you a man coverage. You think it's going to be everything about the Red Blacks trying to run the football. Tommy Condell comes a nice pass play. Gives Dustin Crum an easy throw. Hit the crossing route across the field.
There's Keelan White slow up onto his feet, but now does go to the sideline. Just has 1 touchdown so far on the season. That came on the road against Hamilton earlier this year, and extremely close that time to adding on in his first year in the Canadian Football League. But he'll have to watch from the sidelines here, as you know that the Dustin Crum short yardage package that was stuffed by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the first quarter of last week's game is in and ready to roll. Crum takes the step, lunges forward, and the signal is up. They set the fireworks off, and the Red Blacks offense has a major getting themselves back into the football game.
Don't get overcomplicated with it. When you're on the 1 yard line, let the quarterback, let your offensive line dent the pocket, let the quarterback fall forward for 1 yard, get the touchdown. That's what they do right here. You made the point, Marshall, last week against Winnipeg. They got stopped 3 times at the 1 yard line. So good execution this week on fixing the issues they had last week. Nice drive for Crum and the Red Blacks.
And make it 7 rushing touchdowns on the season for Dustin Crum. Lewis Ward gets set to kick the extra point. A little bit of extra life in the building here at TD Place, as the fans on Friday Night Football waiting to see a little bit of life out of that offense. All it took was 4 plays, 52 yards in a little over 2 minutes, and it's finished off with Dustin Crum pushing the pile into the end zone. Edmonton leads by 10.
Big Joe.
Big Joe in the house.
Coming up at the half. confidence by Edmonton, but all of a sudden we've got ourselves a fumble.
Get it, Enoch.
What's he doing? Enoch, get him. Just couldn't help himself.
Can I get an IT here?
Don't break the big board. Come on, Enoch. Don't tackle him into the big board. We need that.
You see Dustin Crum watching on after plunging into the end zone. Used his legs a little bit as well. Lewis Ward will send it away. Javon Leake with a punt return touchdown of 80 yards already in this ball game. Looks to create some magic on the kick return. Can't get anywhere as we look back at the touchdown drive of the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Beginning with Ace Ellie, making sure that he read the eyes of Cody Fajardo and perhaps a game changer here early on.
Complimentary football. Coach Dice has got to like it. Ace Ellie makes the interception. Check down to William Stanback. Big gain here. Second and short. Get the throw downfield. 28-yard gain. And then take the ball in on the QB sneak. So nice drive. Nice response after the takeaway by the REDBLACKS defense. Get this crowd back into it, Marshall.
Fajardo goes back to work. Max protection, loads it up, finds Dunbar down that south. Oh no, out of bounds, incomplete. That was Benjamin Victor trying to fit it into the tight window on that left sideline, but hits the turf, incomplete.
Harder than you think when you try to throw those to the wide side of the field, when you have high players into the boundary. You see Gavin Helslop's there, so you got to really almost put it right on the sideline. That's what happened there. Easy one-on-one on the outside, either incomplete or out of bounds.
Great example here of how points make a difference to the home crowd. Noise is in with 2:32 remaining in the first half that we didn't feel when they were down by 17. Over the middle, Justin Rankin quiets the fans and goes for a run around the edge. Adds on to the yards after the catch. And Rankin continues to dominate when he gets the ball in his hands in the open field. He's got more than 400 yards in both rushing and receiving here at the halfway point entering tonight.
Watch this is not easy to handle this route by the linebacker Ace Ellie. It starts to run out and then you cut back in. You call this a tailback angle route. He's out of position. He can't make the play. Rankin's so good with the ball in his hand. Creates a huge explosive.
Fake to Rankin this time. Go to Arkell Smith outside and runs in the dual tackle. CJ Colden right there, as well as Javon Santos Knox making the bounce from middle linebacker over to weak side here is an injury to Frankie Griffin.
And that's what I like about what the Elks are doing with their stuff. Out trying to do some couple plays at the line of scrimmage, get as many as they can.
Edmonton empties it out for the double E. Fajardo, quick screen. Down Julian Grant did this with so much success in his time with the Montreal Alouettes. Spent a significant amount of time there, 5 seasons since coming out of St. FX. And that time plunges his way forward on a solid gain of what looks like 6.
Quick screen on the outside to get Julian Grant. Have a couple offensive linemen pulling out. Follow the big men, find a crease. Just so hard for the defensive linemen to make those tackles in space. Part of the process of calling these screens so much, Marshall, is you want those defensive linemen not to rush the passer. You want them chasing the ball sideline to sideline. Not easy for those big guys.
Edmonton's special teams making a big difference here tonight. Luke Wilson, that's caught your attention. What do you got?
Yeah, you know, you got to give your flowers to special teams coach Demetrius Maxey. This guy clearly has been in the film room, getting the boys ready, and they've had a couple huge plays today. And it starts with that block punt. You know, it was something early in the game, but I thought that block punt was a huge momentum shift from a field position and potentially a point. I want you to watch this here. It's 7-on-7, but Ottawa makes a mistake. Ottawa here has 2 guys for 1, so you never know when you pop, and Taylor takes it right off the foot. And that's something you're going to be saying in the film room. Hey, you never know which guy's going to pop when the other team makes a mistake. So that's something, again, I talk about preparation. That's a key moment. And then you look at this here. The saying is have a man on a man, man on a man. You look here, everyone's a man on a man, and then your next coach cliche is coming right here. A late win is a great win, baby. Boom. Perfect play. You break down for a touchdown. It's great.
Well, flags come out on this one as Fajardo gets popped in another late win, but this time for the Ottawa defense. Looks like Bless Mateala down there, but we'll clean up the flag. And yeah, the special teams unquestionably making the impact so far in this ball game as Mark Killam watches on.
And it's pretty cool. You know, I like Luke's comment there.
Holding.
Because
Edmonton number 62. That penalty's declined. Third down.
How good is it that, you know, it's great we keep talking about special teams here, and Luke just did a hit on it because Mark Killam, special teams background as head coach, Bob Dice, done a number of things, but he's been known most for special teams coordinator prowess.
At the end of the first half here is trying to build some momentum with Ottawa winning the coin toss, deferring. They should get the ball to start the second half. Cody Fajardo had 10 straight completions before he threw the interception to Ellie, and now they got held with great starting field position to just a field goal, and standing back on a 50-yard attempt from Vincent Blanchard is the man who did it all for 117 yards last week on the road in Winnipeg. These Red Blacks fans, they know their team as a flag comes up, and it goes off the uprights. It's no good, but a flag came up before the snap came back, and it looks like a time count will back them up even further.
Violation, Edmonton number 14. A 5-yard penalty will be, and we'll repeat third down.
And are they sending out the punting unit? I mean, that one would have been good from 60 without question, but after the miss, personnel swap.
The time count penalty is a penalty of 10 yards.
So they back it up 10, and it would be a 60-yard attempt, and without Sergio Castillo of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in sight, it will be the punting unit.
Smart decision here, and then the Red Blacks go with 2 returners back here so they can make sure they catch it. One of the 2 returners will catch it in the air. Got Pickett as the backside.
Don't you love that? The guy who has the special teams tackles and leading your team in tackles and. Hey, go back and return for us. Yeah, sure.
And very smart. They kept it.
They kick it right to him, and the party starter rolls his way across the 25-yard line. At halftime, if you have a chance, you should YouTube Gus the Polar Bear, tragically hip, Grey Cup, Ottawa. You got to do it. Iconic. As Bob Dice watches on. Trailing by 10. Ball in Ottawa's possession. William Stanback stands alongside Dustin Crum and runs directly into the throws of Noah Taylor. Got the block punt earlier on in the ball game. And Taylor continues to fly around in all facets.
Difficult when you do twist. Noah Taylor went from his defensive end position and he looped back inside. Usually you do that when the back is aligned to the left of you. So he loops inside. The guard misses it. They don't do the zone combination well. Noah Taylor, nice play on the twist.
Likely changes the mentality here for Ottawa at the end of the first half. Pressure on from the Elks, and Crum will have to roll away. Giving chase is Noah Taylor as Crum throws the brakes on, and that time just pushed out of bounds. So a whole lot of nothing on the final possession for now, what looks like for the Ottawa Redblacks of this first half.
And for Dustin Crum, you know, not turning the ball over here, but the productivity has not been there. And that's why it's so important. You got to get takeaways. You got to play good special teams. You got to help the young quarterbacks in any way, shape, or form. He's got to make his plays too, but you want the players around him to help as much as they can young quarterbacks as they're learning the game.
And full credit to Crum, trying to create any way he possibly could here at the end of the first half, but diminishing returns. That time stepping out of bounds might have just been the best call as Edmonton sends the heat once again. This one goes off the side of the foot of Richard Leone. He kicks out of bounds in front of King Ambers, who was downfield on coverage, and Javon Leake will watch that one set up the Edmonton offense with 33 seconds remaining. And Cody Fajardo just 4 incompletions, but that one interception looming large that led to the touchdown for the Red Blacks.
Yeah, difficult kick. This gives them, you know, not to go very far now to put yourself 3 points. 33 seconds. You got plenty of time to get in field goal range here. Difficult punt right before the half for the Red Blacks.
So a little bit of redemption here for Vincent Blanchard, who missed the 50-yarder on their last possession. Called back by the flag as now Stephen Dunbar Jr. steps out of bounds well within field goal range. He was the target on the interception that Fajardo threw, but this time a clean completion to 6.
Quick out cut the boundary corner. Shakir Brown raises up a little too high, gives the throw on the outside for the quick first down.
Gain of 16 yards on the play. They'll spot it at the 41-yard line as the Edmonton offense goes to work, not giving up a sack last week against Toronto. Back to Dunbar they go. And down to the 30-yard line. Another Edmonton first down. 22 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Using good presence on Brown here. A little bit of a vertical stem, then just jump into the zone. Cody throws it on time before the will can expand to that, or the underneath coverage can expand.
Now you're in kind of that green light territory if you want to take a shot or two, perhaps. See how aggressive Edmonton gets as Fajardo thought about loading it up, pumps, looks to run, slides his way down at about the 22-yard line.
14 seconds left here. They've got the opportunity. They'll be at the line of scrimmage. Call it as fast as they can to get a first down and maybe one shot play, or this is a shot play and they kick the field goal after this play.
If there's anything creative here from offensive coordinator Jordan McSimic, as he just goes underneath. High percentage call, but they'll say incomplete. Official runs in from the backside. Not that it makes much difference. Not that big of a gain on the play. So Arkell Smith watches it fall to the turf, incomplete, and Blanchard comes back out.
Rolling on the field, an incomplete pass.
Cody executed that very well. Couple first downs get you making very easy, manageable 31-yard field goal.
And Jason Moss, who obviously has the connection with Jordan McSimic in terms of learning CFL offense and working together and coaching in the same system. Moss has always said Cody's at his best in the final 3 minutes of either half. He just finds a way, the intensity ratchets up, and McSimic obviously leaning into that. That's 31 yards away. 19 closer than the miss just a couple of minutes ago. And this one up and good with 3 seconds remaining. So the lead extended once again for Edmonton here.
So what's got to happen, you know, certainly as you go into the halftime, you just got to find a way to slow down Cody. Now, teams have really struggled to do that all season. Right now, he's 16 of 21, 76%, 178 yards. They do have an interception on him, but got to make it a little bit harder for him to make those easy completions, whether that's playing man coverage, whether that's getting more pressure on him. You got to try to do something to take him a little bit out of his rhythm. Try to get the ball in, you know, that's a hard thing to say. It's like, hey, let's put the ball in Leak's hands.
Right.
But when Cody Fajardo is, you know, going to keep completing passes all the way up to almost 80%, you got to help you got to do something else to flip the field. It's a hard thing field position-wise for an offense when the Elks stay on the field.
Is Ottawa content to let this one hit the zeros? And it will be Dustin Crum taking a knee as Javon Leak's second punt return touchdown of the season. The other also came against Ottawa earlier on this year, the 6th of his career, and he makes it look easy. When it's working, it is working for major flying colors down the field. As you see the green and gold 22 in control on special teams at various points throughout the season. Perhaps never more than right now. In a matchup against Khalil Pimpleton, a great back and forth. Let's head down and hear from Kenzie Lalonde, who's alongside Javon.
Javon, this feels like deja vu. Another return touchdown against the Redblacks. This is your 6th of your career. In particular, just what's allowed you to be so effective in the return game this year?
I mean, this year, just working with Coach Killen, man, I feel like every game I get better. Every game I get more comfortable. So, you know, it's just as the season goes on, man, I just feel like I get more comfortable each game, and it's working out pretty well.
Special teams unit this season's been effective collectively as well. What can you say about your group?
Man, I owe all of them. You know, y'all see me score the touchdown, but y'all don't really see all the blocking that goes into it, you know, all the small little details, man. So just as much as I'm celebrating, them guys got to celebrate it with me, man.
Good luck.
Hey, appreciate it.
In the
Well,
opening
I don't know what caught my attention more, the interception or the way in which you celebrated with the fans. You grabbed the sledgehammer, you went up on the bench and just started getting them motivated here. Walk me through your motivation to go celebrate that one with the Redblacks fans.
It was just the energy from the teammates from on the sideline. It was just we needed a spark, and I happened to make the play. And you know it, that's a credit. But nah, it was just the energy from my teammates and everybody. They celebrating with me, and I'm just sparked the touchdown. The offense went down and scored, and we just started the momentum. We're trying to keep it going the second half.
So how do you guys execute that and keep this momentum going?
Just keep it play-by-play and keep doing what we're doing, keep doing our jobs, and just the small details, and play by play, and we'll see what happens at the end of the game.
Select.
All right, appreciate it.
Josiah shackled downfield, making the play there is Kenzie Lalonde catching up with Ace Ellie, and Dustin Crum's first half of action with just the one major on the board to this point, but really no major mistakes, just trying to find his rhythm.
8 of 9 passing, 104 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. What has really hurt Dustin Crum, really, I'm looking at my notes right here. They had 3 second and extra situations in this first quarter. You got to help him not be in those long yardage situations. That's hard to overcome.
In tough at various points, and now the snap comes up off rhythm a little bit, but Gino Lewis makes the grab and dives towards the 30-yard line, comes up just shy, but it's another first down for the Ottawa REDBLACKS to get things going here in the second half.
That's a great start, Marshall. Throw it to Eugene Lewis on a slant, big target, easy read for the quarterback. Give him a first down. Once again, no huddle by this REDBLACKS offense. Try to get him in some rhythm.
Drew Brown out with the knee injury, missed 3 games earlier this year with a hip injury. And so Dustin Crum will sling it once again to Eugene Lewis up to the 40 and continues to push his way forward for another first down. So back-to-back, and they clearly came out in the second half, Lapo, and said, hey, it's time to start getting 87 the rock.
Little misdirection. You're an empty. You start running to the right, then you flip your hips and throw it back to Gino Lewis, trying to get the defense to run to the field. Dino Boyd gets a great block on the Will linebacker. Gets a nice, easy first down. 2 first downs start this drive. Excellent on first down.
Edmonton almost jumps. As Crum working the snap count once again and hands it off to William Standback. The REDBLACKS 7-1-1 at home last year for their next 5 games right here at TD Place, trying to create themselves a little bit of breathing room and climb back into the East.
And I like what they're doing. They're doing a little different cadence stuff here that's throwing the Edmonton Elks off. They're pausing their cadence, and they're expecting to reset, and then they snap the ball. They're doing a sudden cadence.
It's just off rhythm, right? So do they go with the quick snap again? They do. And it is Standback running through 2 arm tackles away from Robbie Smith. Darts to the right, finds some open field, and finally it is Royce Metier bringing him down, but William Standback, physical downhill runner, gets the first down.
That's the power you want from William Standback, and this is what you want. Hey, I'm going to help out. I'm going to make people miss at the point of attack. He makes 2 people miss. There's the 3rd. Keeps breaking tackles. Forcing his way for the first down on 2nd and short. This is great adjustments coming out of this 3rd quarter. Get your defense engaged. Get your crowd engaged. Nice drive. Very important down here. You're at 49-yard field goal with sitting the ball at the 42-yard line. Got to be careful what they call these next 2 calls. They don't want to lose any yardage.
Robbie Smith slowly off the field with the help of the training staff, but under his own power, and a fresh set of downs for William Standback and the Ottawa REDBLACKS offenses. Dustin Crum goes under center here. Burns flips it back to Standback, and this one rallied to by the Edmonton defense. But Standback continuing to push his way forward as he passes Pinball Clemens. And in the history books all time, William Standback up into 38th and now tracking down Brandon Whitaker.
That's a great group. Brandon Whitaker, an outstanding football player. Should be able to catch him this year. See Damon Allen in there. That's pretty amazing as a quarterback.
So many people wrote off William Standback when he came back from the National Football League after his time in Montreal. Went to BC, great year, comes to Ottawa, and put together a really solid campaign as well. 4-man rush, Crum over the middle of the field. This one hangs up, but Keelan White goes and gets it. Royce Metier saying, yeah, I probably should have been there on that one, but another great grab by the rookie.
Recognizing it's zoned by the formation. He sees the strong side linebacker to the field. He knows he's got a zone. Tries to hit in Keelan White in the middle there before Metier can get there. Throws it back a little bit, but look at that catch. Great play by White. Go up and get it, take it to the highest point.
Now Ottawa goes back to their usual cadence here, Lapo, of hurry up and wait. They will snap it after Crum works the line of scrimmage. ISO up top. Gino Lewis incomplete. Coverage provided by J.J. Ross that time. They're trying to get the vertical shot down the rail to Gino.
J.J. Ross does a good job just running vertically and staying with him. On the bottom of the screen, you can see right here. Let me highlight these 2 guys. All right, that's what's happening. It's a one-on-one situation. It's an easy read for the quarterback to go ahead and just throw this ball. Should be safe. You see the safety go to the wide side of the field. Just doesn't locate it. Puts too far inside for Geno Lewis. But look at this coverage. Ross does a good job running stride for stride, making it have to be a perfect throw on the outside shoulder of Geno for it to be successful.
J.J. Ross on the coverage as Geno Lewis looking to add another major to his illustrious career. Will step away with the injury to the Red Blacks offensive lineman. A couple of moments ago, Darius Blaydick, offensive lineman for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. You can see the frustration and the anger, just the anguish that these guys go through anytime that you are banged up and it feels unfair. As Blaydick makes his way to the sideline and obviously frustrated with the situation. Need to see that for him and any player that goes through it. You know how much they care, want to be on the field with their teammates. But 2nd and 10 after the incompletion to Geno Lewis. Crum looks over the middle of the field. Touchdown REDBLACKS. Andre Miller with an on-point delivery from Dustin Crum, using the arm and the vision to tighten down this ball game.
Great strike, thrown in right in the middle of the defense as the defense separates. Andre Miller getting a lot of reps this year as Braylon Addison's been out of the games. He's got 2nd TD of the season. First-year player from the University of Maine. Splits the defense, finds the throw right in the middle, finds the ball right in the middle of the field.
Reminiscent of Crum when he was at its best against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers last week. Standing in the pocket and absolutely ripping it. That one probably his best delivery so far of the ball game, as a 93-yard drive. It only took 7 plays that ball.
Yeah, but what they did very well is they were productive on first down, which is what they struggled with early in the first quarter. First downs on first downs. Geno Lewis, early plays, slants, has turned into a 7-play, 93-yard drive, 3:52 taken off. You can see right there, there's the sledgehammer. Let's take a look at this drive. And like I said, you have to help quarterbacks by starting quickly, staying on the field. First down on first down, quick screen, a little bit of misdirection on that screen. William Stanback breaks 4 tackles to get this first down. Big throw by Keelan White, goes up and gets it, makes a difficult catch. Then the touchdown out of the empty set. They had 6 receivers out in the pattern, confused the Elks defense. So great execution by not only the quarterback, Marshall, but you saw some of those plays by Stanback. You know, White made a great play. Also, Dino Boyd made a great play on Geno Lewis's screen. So all the teammates are helping him. It's not just the quarterback. It's the whole offense got to play well.
Spreading the football around was Dustin Crum on that drive. As you say, 7 plays and used 4 or 5 different offensive skill position players. And it ends up being Miller into the end zone. As an offense for the Red Blacks that's been trying to churn out the yardage, and at times it's been tough.
What I want to show you is they're in empty. And what does empty mean? There's no guy in the backfield. So there is 6 receivers out here. And as you spread everybody out, the middle of the field gets voided. Dustin's watching the whole time. He sees Stanback go out of there, and he sees that big space right there. Throws the ball in the middle of the field. That's what empty in the box helps you. Spread everybody out, find the hole in the middle of the defense.
High snap here for Edmonton to begin their drive. Almost tackled from behind. Lorenzo Molden nearly had a tackle for a loss, but somehow Rankin was able to pick up 8.5 yards.
Cody, really good. This is hard. You practice this as a drill. You do a bad ball drill with your quarterbacks usually once every 2 weeks to make sure they can catch the low snaps, the high snaps, and then Rankin does what he does. He makes Renzo Malden miss in the backfield. Should have been a tackle for a loss. Turns into a 2nd and short situation.
Fajardo at the controls, looking for the 3rd straight victory here for the Edmonton Elks. They got a big man in motion right down to the line of scrimmage. Tightening things down, loading the box, and handing it off to Justin Rankin. See if he can work some magic. Flying up and making the play. That time it's Gavin Heslop.
Done a nice job with him moving to this boundary halfback position for this game. the halfbacks have to come up and play run defense on second and short when there's extra bodies in. He triggers right now, takes Rankin out for the negative yardage play. Great tackle for a loss.
The first 2 and out for the Edmonton Elks offense here, and it comes after the Miller touchdown. So Ottawa begins this second half in the most ideal of ways. Can they keep the momentum going? Khalil Pimpleton sees this one slide into his hands around the 10-yard line on a gorgeous evening in Ottawa, Ontario. East-West matchup here in week number 12. It's all in the family here tonight. Edmonton and Ottawa. Kenzie Lalonde has more.
Well, like father, like son, Ottawa REDBLACKS head coach Bob Dyce is coaching against his son Tristan Dyce, a running back coach with the Elks. I had a chance to ask Bob Dyce, what did you think Tristan kind of had the itch to get into coaching? He said, honestly, it was when he was still playing at the University of Manitoba, and the coaching staff approached him and saying, you know, Tristan might have a knack for this coaching thing, just in the knowledge of the offense. Now, Tristan does feel like he has some similar coaching processes as his dad, really process driven, and knows it takes time to perfect the coaching skill. And in terms of the record, guys, well, Tristan was quick to answer. 5-1 record right now in favor of the Elks.
Weird that he knew that off by heart. I mean, spit that one out, barely even had to ask. I wonder if they asked Tristan at any point, hey, what's dad going to do here? Oh, he's not going to challenge, don't worry about it. I know him, I know his tendencies. Daniel Adeboboye in the backfield. Crum fakes it, uses his legs, and runs through. Defensive back on the outside that time. Once again, using the power as Cordell Jackson feels it in that secondary of the Elks.
This is what Dustin is a strength of Dustin. Watch the end man on the line of scrimmage. If he bends down and fast squeezes down, quarterback pulls it, has a run pass option. This is what you like to see from Dustin Crum, get these opportunities. Let me go back to talking about Coach Dyce and Tristan Dyce. You know, this week, everybody's starting to go to college and everything. So Bob Dyce's wife Amanda's here, and his daughter Ava Dyce is going to go to the University of Ottawa. So that's a great thing for the families all together today. So Ava's going to go to University of Ottawa, live with Bob. So that's great for Bob. And the thing people don't have an understanding about this game, and as a former coach, like, you spend so much time away from family. Tommy Condell talked about it this week. He says, I spend more time with the quarterbacks than I spend with my wife and 4 kids. So it's great, you know, that Tristan's involved in the league. I know Bob and him talk as much as they can throughout the course of the week, and it's great that Bob's daughter is going to be in the same city as he's coaching.
And Jordan McSimic with the family ties as well, and it all means a lot when they're able to get together and spend quality time as close as possible, not have to live that cross-country life in season here in the CFL. As the crossing route underneath, complete to Khalil Pimpleton, bounces off Kobe Williams' tackle, and out to the 40. First down on first down once again for the Ottawa offense, trailing by 6 here as we roll inside 7 minutes remaining in the third.
Quick crossing routes. What do you do? As everybody lifts in the zone, you just throw it underneath to your short receiver. As you're going to see him come underneath. It's going to be zone. Everybody drops out. He doesn't like the pictures. I'm just going to throw it underneath to Pimpleton. I've got enough space. I make one person miss. It's a 10-yard gain. Nice drive again for the REDBLACKS.
Off play action. Looks to his right. He has nowhere to go. Jake Serezna wraps him up, throws him down. But Khalil Pimpleton, it's hard to imagine this guy not making big plays in the Canadian Football League. It's essentially all he's done, despite the fact he's been contributing in multiple facets. Look at that number.
It's amazing. I can remember being in training camp a couple years ago and hearing Bob Dyce and General Manager Sean Burke talk about Khalil Pimpleton. They said, this kid is special. He's got the ability to flip the field on any play, and obviously he's done that on offense, and he's done that on special teams.
It's been electric, and they've been trying to find different ways to use him. It's tough to get those returners into the flow of the offense, but he's done it successfully with Crum, especially in the ball game, is now outside, and this one knocked away. Kobe Williams, great play, locking down Justin Hardy, whose name we haven't said all that much. Aaron Grimes right there, coaching him up on the sideline. Loves that play from Williams.
Williams is very patient here. He's in a man-to-man situation. Hardy's open on the sideline. Why is he open? Because it's inside position on Kobe Williams. The ball is a little bit far inside, but Kobe Williams, you see that long arm of his goes up, knocks the ball out. He was patient. He did not worry about that he's beat by position. He just put his hands up. When Hardy put his hands up, he put his hands through.
A little bit reminiscent of that floating catch that Hardy made against Winnipeg on the first drive last week. This time he can't hang on midway through the third quarter. So Edmonton gets possession back. Javon Leake looking for the edge. Wrapped up and thrown down. Anthony Gosselin now on the field. Special teams coverage as Hardy flies to the skies and Kobe Williams denies. Gets the hand in perfectly with a 6-point Elks lead. The CPKC Women's Championship continues tomorrow with third-round action. Coverage gets underway at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on TSN. There's 5:22 remaining here. The lights are on in Ottawa. And the Edmonton offense trying to get back into the swing of things. Getting stuffed on a 2-and-out on their last possession. As Fajardo pumps, looks down the field, checks this one out to the flats. And Justin Rankin just kind of has that Nick Dembski feel like in Winnipeg, where he's just always in the right spot, wherever the quarterback needs him. Doesn't matter, he'll find a way.
Cody's trying to throw a curl downfield, and the linebacker falls right into that space. You can see him recover. He's about to throw it. He recovers late, gets it down to Rankin. You know, to get a 7-yard gain, and that's the difficult thing. Like, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. We talk about a team that doesn't turn the ball over, the fewest giveaways in the Canadian Football League. That's why.
You know, the percentages, the difference between 2nd and 10, 2nd and 3. Not a flashy play, but sets them up for this, which is Rankin bouncing off 2 tacklers. And being brought down. It's C.J. Colden making the stop, but thanks to Rankin's first down efforts, that one moves the chains.
Yeah, you talk about the percentages. Usually 2nd and short is 75% conversion to 2nd and long, which is going to be 40% conversion. So good execution on first down to get Rankin a couple of touches.
Andre Lamont coming down from free safety, just unable to make the tackle that time as Edmonton continues to use the heavyset here. Philip Krahovic, see the big man in motion there on the right side of the line. As Fajardo fakes to no one. They bailed out in pass protection. Now loads it up. Shot over the top. Up for grabs in the air. And hits the turf incomplete. Looking for the home run hitter, Stephen Dunbar.
Nice coverage downfield. It's hard throwing those posts sometimes because you can't get over the top. You can't get over the top of the player right there. Okay, you can see Elijah McGee is in a position where this is a double move. You start to move outside, then go back inside, but Elijah McGee stays on top of the defensive back, so he's always there. So now you got Lamont underneath, you got McGee over the top. Very difficult to make a play on this. Almost an interception.
He might have had the best opportunity at it. So 2nd down and 10. Fajardo checks it down. Rankin makes the grab, going nowhere.
Kevin Helsup's having a really nice game tonight, Marshall. Another tackle here. It's the 2nd game on the roster. He only had, coming into this game, 1 tackle, 1 knockdown. Sitting down in the zone. As he sits down in that space, he recognizes it's a check down. All you have to do is rally up and make the tackle.
Punting unit out here with Pimpleton standing back. Trying to play shot for shot. Looking for a punt return touchdown of his own as Javon Leake with an 80-yarder early on. Pimpleton, the quickness on full display, but running in circles and going nowhere. Special teams coverage down the field. DK Bonham right there to wrap him up as the Ottawa defense stands tall. The check down to Rankin, wrapped up, thrown back, trying to get the offense going down 6 here on Friday Night Football. Welcome back to Ottawa. There is Dustin Crum as he stands in the Ottawa huddle. Let's head down to Luke Wilson to find out what's caught his attention.
You know, Dustin, you guys have been talking about it, but coming out in the 2nd half, Ottawa seems to be coming out here and doing the dummy motion and then making adjustments and play calls. And it's been working. I think Crum's done a great job. If you look at some of these plays here, you'll see him come up here. He's giving signals. And you notice Edmonton doesn't check. So he calls the play. It works perfectly, and everything goes well. Now, you look at, if you're J.C. Sherritt and you're on the other side of this thing, it's a bit of a dangerous game if they're going to continue to play like this, because Edmonton now can say, hey, we need to disguise things, because if Crum's going to keep calling plays at the line of scrimmage, we can trick him into calling things that will really match up well against our defense. So I'm looking now at that kind of chess game heading into this fourth quarter and the end of the third to see if they can trick Crum here into making a bad call.
Yeah, good call. And also, Lapa just wondering whether or not Tommy Condell is trying to just leverage the cadence in order to find some cheap yards here as well. Right now, we'll just give the handoff to William Stanback, plunging his way forward for a solid gain on first.
That's an interesting thing. So you can do one of two things here. You can be doing this double cadence to help change a play, and sometimes, yeah, Edmonton is going to do one of two things like Luke's talking about. They can either make their own hand signal and they can go, we showed blitz, we got to drop out the zone, or they can stay in what they called. And so it's very interesting. And I think part of this, Dustin Crum did this in college, so this might made it easier for him, Luke.
Yeah, totally. And again, right now, you just need one play here, Paul. So for me, if I'm Edmonton, I'm kind of holding that ace up my sleeve and waiting for a very, very key moment, perhaps in the fourth quarter, and really trying to jam them here with something they haven't seen on film.
Yeah. And you know, for the Elks right here, the Red Blacks are doing a good job trying to get some rushing. They got 81 rushing yards, because the one thing I think this defense has gotten better and better each week, I talked about earlier, they held the Argonauts to 29 yards rushing last week. They're getting better stopping the run, so this is a good second half for the Red Blacks.
Totally.
As we get a completion here underneath on first down, but trying to find different ways to get Gino Lewis into the ball game and mixing and matching different pieces, like Miller, who had the touchdown earlier on. That's the first completion for Crum in this second half. Of his 5 before that, they were all for 10 yards or more. This time he goes underneath.
You watch, you dump him out of the backfield, and then he's going to look to his right. You void the box, 45 has to move a little bit, then you throw into the space vacated by the empty area of the field. Miller's a big target, get that ball inside. My man from Old Town, Maine. I'm going to say Old Town, Maine, and I'm going to say my high school head coach came from Old Town, Maine. For
That's
anybody on the broadcast wants to know that, Ken Parody, rest in peace, from Nashua High School, Old Town, Maine, and also Coach McPherson, head coach of Syracuse for years, and head coach of New England Patriots, came from Old Town, Maine.
Amazing. Love the small town connections, as anyone who loves the Canadian Football League knows plenty of them, weaving through the history of the league. Late substitution here from Edmonton, and now Crum loads it up, slings this one over the top. He leaned into it. A flag comes up at the end of the play. And really the first time that we've seen Dustin Crum unleash the cannon so far in this one.
Defensive pass interference. Edmonton, number 29. The ball will be placed for the infraction.
Let me show you.
The ball will be placed at the 51-yard line and a first down.
Started out here. When they made the check, he ran back inside, kind of like Luke was talking about. They started out in a man coverage, and then they went to a zone coverage on the double check. So trying to keep them off balance, changing plays at the line of scrimmage.
See Crum operating once again, checking things at the line. They'll bump out to the wide side, and this time try to get numbers going to the field on the run. It is Miller, turns the corner to the 40, 30. Pushed out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Just a numbers game there, Coach.
And easy throws, easy decisions, make your blocks on the perimeter, and get speed players the ball in space. This is just a quick wing pass. You've got a lead blocker in the tailback. And again, all you have to do is force an outside number block, and then the ball goes spill to the wide side of the field. Good execution by Miller. Good block by William Stanback.
26-yard gain. Man of time the Edmonton defensive line are spending down in their stance, with Crum threatening to snap the football and checking almost every single snap.
4, 3, 2, we're right on it.
Snap comes up. Crum, 3-man rush. Check down underneath, incomplete. As William Stanback hanging on to it. Ottawa yet to win when trailing after 3 quarters. We'll see if they can find a way. Down 6 here on Friday Night Football. Edmonton Elks in the driver's seat right now. Just a one-score game, though 11 minutes time of possession in that third quarter for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. They also had 11 first downs and just the one Paul Lapalisse for the Edmonton Elks. What does Edmonton have to do to get back to what we saw early on in this ball game, their efficiency, the high rate of completion rates?
I think they took a lot of shots downfield. I think they got to get some Rankin involved, get him some runs, but I thought the REDBLACKS did a good job, like us trying to make Rankin limited and take him out of the ball game. But hats off to the REDBLACKS. Good drives, like you talked about, the 11 first downs. When they have 11 first downs to 1, you're not going to get the ball for Edmonton. So Edmonton's got to get a couple stops on defense. They get that. The Elks get the ball back offensively. But another opportunity in the red, coming down to the red zone here for the REDBLACKS, ball at the 25-yard line.
Absolutely. Back-to-back victories for Edmonton over Montreal and Toronto. Trying to do it on the road here against Ottawa. Go 3 for 3 against East Division opponents in this stretch of their 2025 schedule before we hit Labor Day weekend. As Crum steps up in the pocket on second and long, spins back and runs away from potential tacklers for an Ottawa first down.
REDBLACKS trying to help their young quarterback by adding blockers in. You see Miller come in to help protect and then release late. That helps the quarterback so he doesn't have to worry about whether there's any blitzes on one side. He doesn't like the picture, scrambles for the first down.
Jake Serezna giving chase, but just couldn't catch up to Crum in time. So first and 10 from the 14-yard line with 14 points on the board for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Crum looks to throw, steps right into pressure, and down he goes.
This should be a twist. Oh, no, Taylor wasn't a twist. It was just a speed rush on the outside. Just beats the right tackle. Parker Moore breaks inside to make the play with the speed rush and go. Creates a second and extra scenario.
Loss of 8 is Brandon Barlow right there on the play alongside Noah Taylor. Jared Brinkman in the fray as well. Niles Morgan, delayed blitz coming in. And this is not a friendly down and distance. See if Ottawa mitigates the damage after giving up that big sack to go underneath. Potentially will get it as Anthony Gosselin, the fullback, plunges his way forward in the Sherbrooke product in his 8th year in the Canadian Football League, and here with the Ottawa REDBLACKS gets them closer, but the field goal unit comes out.
Good situational football here by the Elks defense. You've got them second and extra. All you want to do right here is prevent a touchdown. Right? They're very highly unlikely to cause a sack. You're going to take the REDBLACKS out of field goal range, so you just want to make sure that you get them off the field, make it a field goal try and not a touchdown. Good execution by the Elks defense.
18 yards away for Lewis Ward. Richie Leone is the holder as Ward hammers it through and closes the deficit.
It's time to get the party started.
You know what time it is. Oh, bottles are popping anytime a Darius Pickett is flying around the Canadian Football League field. Got the nickname back at El Cerrito High School over a decade ago due to the 3 pick sixes that he had. Made his way to UCLA. Standout there, of course. First among NCAA defensive backs. And he has brought the party all the way up north to the Canadian Football League. Look at those numbers.
And as we talked about before, like, he does play one of the most difficult positions in the Canadian Football League. A lot of math goes on to that. What do I mean by that? He has to recognize things, and you have to be physical.
He just seems to find a way to make plays.
That last play, he blitzed right off the edge and was part of the run stop on first down.
And having fun as he usually does, and you see the way that he has played through the first 11 weeks of this CFL season. Those are all elite names, team leaders, and he is certainly in that conversation.
Well, I think about last year, Marshall, if you remember, they were playing good defense. He gets injured, misses half the season, and they looked a lot different defensively after he got hurt. And you can see the strength right there of Pickett, just throwing the blocker off and making the tackle.
As much as I love his energy, I hated watching him DJing in practice and on the sideline. He deserves to be in pads and on the football field. He is here as he gives chase once again. And will make the tackle on the outside. Javon Leake picks up the first down for the Edmonton offense. And looks to the Edmonton sideline asking for a quick breath.
Javon leaks out into the flat. You like that, Marshall?
Yeah.
As he leaks out in the flat, Cody looks downfield. Everybody lifts the coverage, so you throw it underneath. Push you in a situation. Watch Pickett. Now Pickett's playing the zones, playing the deep ball. Now he's going to go run, try to get involved to make the tackle underneath throw.
Again, I think it's something that is so special about players like Darius Pickett, but specifically him in the Canadian Football League. Guys that can slash off the edge, make a play in the running game, blow a fullback off of his feet, make the tackle in between the tackles. Then very next play turns and has to run sideline to sideline. Right? There's no role that he can't accomplish.
When you're recruiting, you're looking for really good corners that are physical, guys that in college play a boundary corner who has to do a lot of things where if he's going to be a low player, he's going to have to make tackles, but he has to cover too. So you're not, I know people call them linebackers in this league, but they're a nickel. They're an extra defensive back who can cover very well and has to be smart because you've got to play in the box at times and out of the box.
Fajardo turns around, hands it off. Bit of a bobble there by Justin Rankin. Coming down from free safety, looks like DeAndre Lamont, the one that was right there at the bottom of the pile alongside Ace Ellie, who had the interception earlier on in this one. But nice scheme this time from the Elks.
One of the base plays for the Elks is what you call a power play. One person kicks out and you have somebody lead up. The backside guard leads, tries to create a hole. You can see it happen right here. Great kick out block. Rankin finds the crease and gets north-south.
Almost holding the football down around his waist when he originally got the football that time. Not a smooth transition. They go back to the power running game and trying to fly away from pressure, unable to escape. Originally, Gavin Heslop diving in and turning around, a potential tackle for loss there on Rankin.
And the funny thing, Heslop is a low player on that side of the field. He does a lot of the same things in this defense that Darius Pickett will. You see him blitzing off this edge, trying to create a tackle for the loss. Sometimes these secondary players blitzing off the edge, harder for the offensive line to recognize and block. So,
as there's an injured Red Black down, it looks like Heslop is on the turf. We'll take a break and come right back to Ottawa after this. Well, did you want more Paul LaPolice in your life? Then you've come to the right place. The CFL is back tomorrow as the Lions play the Argonauts. Coverage gets underway at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on TSN and CTV.
Love it. And the X is going on, right?
Yeah, you get to end your triple with a little party.
Nice.
Should be a great game between Toronto and the BC Lions, but plenty of business to be sorted out right here in Ottawa as Cody Fajardo gets a screen out. Justin Rankin running free, and on second down, he'll convert all the way down the sideline and near the 20-yard line. Big gain on second down. We were talking at half. How are you going to try and scheme up these second and long conversions? There's a great example, Coach.
You can't cover everything. When you cover the pass, this was the deep slot routes were covered. Well, when you bring linebackers and get them deep underneath coverage, you're going to open up the screen pass. So there was nobody for the screen pass because the Red Blacks had everybody covering the inside routes. Good execution of the screen pass. Great call by the Elks offense.
Set up on the right hash. Fajardo takes the run, looks underneath. It's Curly Gittins Jr. as the road to the 60th Vanier Cup gets underway this weekend, and the former Wilfrid Laurier Golden Hawk makes the grab here.
Cody using his legs. The more you can use your legs in this league, the more you get opportunities to pull the ball, get on the outside. I've got an option outside, and I've got a nice other option in this inside, and that's what he takes. A nice throw.
Tyson Middlemost coming off the field after a snap there, chatting with head coach Mark Killam. And Curly Gittins Jr. back to work. They'll line up at the bottom of your screen with Keon Julian Grant at a St. FX as Fajardo turns around, hands it off. Rankin jump cut right in the hole, bounces off two tacklers, and is finally brought down at the 6-yard line.
It's very difficult. You want runners who are great in tight spaces. Watch that little cut, that little movement right there on Ace LA. He recognized him in the hole. A quick little jump cut, gets north-south. Talk about guys who can make you miss in small spaces. You got to have great lateral quickness as a tailback, and Justin Rankin has it.
Cody Fajardo, first and goal. Inside handoff, Justin Rankin won't be stopped. And the Elks extend their lead with 8 minutes remaining in the ball game.
Great response. Mixing up the run game, quick, short passing, screen pass. Getting it to one of your best players is never a bad thing, Marshall.
Refuses to be denied. And look at that work by the Edmonton offensive line. Beleaguered at times this year when it comes to pass protection. They gave up 27 sacks ahead of last week's game, but up front in the running game, despite the fact that rushing is down across the Canadian Football League right now, David Beard told us this week, we got leaders up front, we got experienced guys, we got the bodies to get it done. And never in question on that play. Just the way they drew it up as Vincent Blanchard knocks through the extra point and makes it a 27-17 advantage as Edmonton looking for the triple. 3 straight victories against the East here in Ottawa.
Get your motor running.
The 3-6 Edmonton Elks at this point offensively being powered by the efficiency of Cody Fajardo and that man right there as Justin Rankin continues to rack up his efforts here in Ottawa.
15 touches today, 102 total yards, 1 touchdown. And one of the things I think that has happened since the bye week is I think there is a commitment to running the football more with making sure that Justin Rankin gets his touches because he is such an explosive player with the football. So Jordan McSimmons featuring the run more than they have.
Oh, explosive shot on special teams that time down the field. It was Alex Reich, the global, making the play, and Mark Killam is going to love that physicality as you get a look at it right here. Listen in. Where north-south meets east-west.
Yes, rookie from Kansas, Alex. The special team's been very good on Pimpleton today. You know, if you remember last time these 2 teams played each other, Pimpleton had a punt return for a touchdown. So the challenge has been met tonight.
A wide-eyed smile of a man who knows he just did his job on special teams that nobody else could have accomplished. Crom with pressure on, gets blasted as he throws this one and dug out underneath. It was intended for Keelan White, and a double whammy of physicality for Edmonton as they have taken back momentum in this one with a 10-point lead.
Not sure what happens here. You normally do not let a defensive lineman in there. And then as the receiver leaves his feet, Keelan White can't hold on to this football in a dangerous position here.
Tyrell Ford, known for his interception making abilities, that time digs out the legs of White. 7 minutes remaining here in the 4th, and Ottawa needs something to get going quickly as this one, an underneath crossing route. It is complete to Keelan White, but so J.J. Ross was right there to tackle him 5-6 yards shy of the sticks. Punting unit comes out.
J.J. Ross chasing him across the field. That's what you got to do. This is a man coverage picture. You want to make sure that he gets across the field. It's sometimes hard to win these routes versus man coverage. It's also not great when you throw the ball high, so you have to come back for that ball a little bit. You'd like to find a deeper throw that's more of a first down option for you.
Leone hammers this one, straight shot, trying to kick it over the head of Javon Leake once again, but Leake gathers it up comfortably. As the Elks 3 wins so far in 2025, all of them have come on late game, last 3-minute decisions. The Red Blacks have got to do some work to get there. Well, the first touchdown for the Ottawa Red Blacks came off of an interception that they quickly turned around offensively. What can William Fields do here to try and create another game-changing, turnover-worthy play for the Red Blacks defense?
You see Willie Fields there in the middle of your screen, kind of hidden by that. And with Hesloff out, Shakir Brown moves into the boundary halfback spot.
Moving and shaking an already decimated defensive backfield. There's a great play, tackle for loss on the spot. It is Aiden John, the Canadian, flying in and wrapping up the ball carrier.
Red Blacks getting their stops on 1st and 10. John breaking through. Unblocked, creating the tackle for a loss.
For the loss, Cody Fajardo managing this lead right now. 5:20 remaining. Ottawa sends pressure. Fajardo goes down, driven all the way back inside his 5-yard line. And we just showed William Fields what could they do to try and change this momentum. Well, why not force them backwards on back-to-back plays?
Wakefield's coming off the edge. Wakefield's coming from inside, but also Pickett coming from the perimeter. You're going to try to block as many inside guys as possible. But the offensive line missed on the inside. And when you miss on the A-gap player, the inside player, the quarterback has no place to go. You're trying to let Pickett be the widest guy, and you throw off a Pickett. Wakefield beats the offensive line on the inside for the play.
Last week, winning clubs allowed just 2 total sacks and made 12 of their own. Sack differential, always a major influence in the outcome of games, especially when you create a 14-yard field position. As Vincent Blanchard knocks this one all the way out to the 55. Hamilton catches it on the run, 10, 15, 20-yard return. Great starting field position here, trailing by 10 points. Dustin Crum, we talked to Tommy Condell, his offensive coordinator this week, who said everywhere that Dustin goes, chaos seems to follow. And Tommy said, well, it's not chaos. I assume you're talking about his ability to bring teams back into football games. He just credited his ability to be calm in the moment.
Yeah, 17-point comeback last week against Winnipeg at the end of the game. Pimpleton was part of that with the big return touchdown. Yeah, and Dustin Crum has had the ability to bring this team back in a number of years. 2 years ago in Winnipeg, or 1 season ago in Winnipeg, had a huge win at home. We'll see what he's got.
Pimpleton nearly lost the football there on the punt return, but solid 20 yards for the splashy playmaker. Now they go out to the flats. William Stanback loses his feet, tried to get back up. Joel DeBlanco right there to tap him down.
Part of Dustin Crum's progression. It was interesting talking to him this week. Only 1 offer out of college, Kent State University, and as in his words, not mine, he said was the worst program in the country at the time. He brought them from the worst to a bowl contender. They went to a couple of bowl games his last 2 years.
Yeah, he said, I only got 1 offer from the worst place, so I went. I was like, what? Here he is in the Canadian Football League trying to lead another comeback. Comes up, 4-man rush. Keelan White's got the football right in the middle of the field. Given chase, but unable to hang on. It's the coverage of Tyrell Ford.
Simple throw up to the top of the screen on a 10-yard in-breaking route. Pimpleton clears it all out, and then you have it underneath.
Ottawa.
You like throwing these balls to the wide side of the field because a field corner likes to play with a little bit more depth. Keelan White goes up and makes that nice catch.
Well, interesting too, because Royce Metier told us as Ottawa takes the time out here before the 3-minute warning that something he had noticed from free safety was Ottawa runs those in-breaking routes at a little bit more vertical than some other teams. It's a great example of it right there.
Yeah, and what he means by that is usually some of those are running 6 yards, 8 yards. That's a 10-yard gain for them to get those. Metier was interesting talking to him. You can tell he's a veteran football player. He talks scheme, different route combinations. It was great to have an interview with him.
Extremely cerebral player as Crum goes head-to-head against him here. And Dustin beats the edge rush. Jared Brinkman giving chase, and Crum will throw this one away. And it's incomplete. And as Brinkman down the sidelines, pops back up onto his feet.
Yeah, watch Stanback right here. He's communicating coverage. They're all trying to get on the same page to help say who's your free player, who's you're blitzing off of. That's the communication you need, especially when Edmonton's showing a couple of different pictures. The previous play that Dustin Crum, there was a free rush off the edge. Justin made him miss, scrambled around and had to throw it away. But the Elks trying to do some things to slow down this group and not just play zone. They're giving some different pressure looks.
One of those plays for Stanback that won't show up on a stat sheet as well. Just the veteran leadership and knowing where to send that protection and communicate it as the Ottawa offensive line digs in once again. 2nd and 10. Late in the ball game, Crum, quick throw. It is complete. And at the 3-minute warning, J.J. Ross makes the tackle once again. Ottawa with a decision to make. Expect they've got to go here late in the game, trailing by 10. Here we are, Friday Night Football, August 22nd. There is what your CFL playoff picture looks like. And you see the daunting, looming potential of the crossover with Edmonton and Ottawa right there in the thick of it when it comes to that third spot, as they will go for the field goal, take the points here, and see if they can get the football back. Close down the lead as Lewis Ward knocks this one through. And for Edmonton on their last possession, Luke Wilson, it was all Justin Rankin all the time.
Yes, it was. And, you know, I love what Edmonton does there, because the game obviously got tighter. They're only up 3. They said, let's give it to our horse. And our horse responded. This guy is a bell cow. And I find every week I'm watching now, he does more and more things that amaze me. And you start with the screen here. And what I like about this is the burst, the speed. Again, right here, should have been tackled. We get an extra 15 yards. There's your burst. There's your speed. And he's not just a speed guy. This is what's crazy to me. When you pause this right here, you think he's going, I mean, look at this picture. He's got to be down, right? Absolutely not. This guy, no problem, bounces off that, gives somebody else some work, and now we get an extra 3 yards. He's jacked up. And again, you come down here, and there are 2 linebackers here. Pickett hits this man at the 2, maybe the 3, and we still get in. These aren't DBs he's running through. These are 2 linebackers. So again, you see the speed, you see the power. I just think he's a complete back. And right now, boys, with 2:51 on the clock, you get this ball back, you're giving it right back to the bell cow and telling him to chew this thing up.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the threat right now, right? Luke, if you're the Ottawa defenses, you know what's coming. So here comes the mind games on play calling and tendencies.
Yeah, and he had 5 touches for 44 yards in that last drive.
Totally. And you know what else I love with this guy is that he does it in the pass game. You know, that was a screen we looked at, but we've seen him split out almost to a slot receiver. So again, right now, if I'm Edmonton, I'm going to this guy, whether it's a very short, easy throw, possession throw, or just absolutely toting the pill, because this guy's got it all. I can't say enough good things about him.
Well-rounded. But does he compare to anybody that you played with, Luke? Anybody you remember that was kind of well-rounded, could do a little bit of it all?
So there was a guy back in the day, and he ran into some issues, but Thomas Rawls 1 season or 2 seasons for Seattle, he really reminds me as a runner, but he's actually, Rankin is much more talented in the pass game. That's what's been very impressive to me. But Thomas Rawls is a special player for a couple seasons that I had the ability to play with.
Love it. We'll see where they decide to use Rankin right now as he lines up for now. Just to the left of Cody Fajardo. Cody trying to get the motion going. Play clock down to 10 seconds. And flag comes up on the snap.
Illegal procedure. Edmonton number 59. 5-yard penalty.
I think Rehovic actually moved here earlier. It was an illegal formation, so he must have been. He's the end man on the line of scrimmage, so I assume he's already reported. So as he reported, he must have moved early. I think Rehovic actually moved here earlier. It was an illegal formation, so he must have been. He's the end man on the line of scrimmage, so I assume he's already reported. So as he reported, he must have moved early. He has to report every dime because he has an ineligible number. He has to tell the team, hey, I'm playing an eligible position. They tell the Red Blacks defense that he's playing eligible position. I think he moved before the snap.
So he heads back to the sideline, and Edmonton tries to make sure they don't have an illegal formation here as well. Take the inside run. Fajardo is going to try and use his legs to earn some of it back. Takes a big pop. Flying back against the grain. A Darius Pickett in on that one as ever.
Always watching the defensive end. If he's what I call a fast squeeze, if he runs down the line of scrimmage, that's what I would call a gap exchange. I'm going to pull it every time, get what yardage I can. Keeps the clock moving. Get yourself second and short. Second and 7.
Diving at the legs, unable to bring him down. Pick it in on the end of the play. Just trying to see the number. That was Daniel Opoku, who was in on the end of that play, and Red Black as well, getting some attention from the coaching staff with 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in a single score ball game, and a big second down looming for the Edmonton Elks as Dustin Crum walks the sidelines here at TD Place.
And after this injury timeout, the clock will start. So they're going to want to run this clock all the way down situation, you're going to try to run it all the way down to 3 seconds. And then if you keep it on the ground, you can continue to run a bunch of time off the clock. If you pass it, you want to make sure it's a completion, Marshall. But it'll be interesting because Ottawa's going to be trying to play the run to make sure. It'll be interesting to see what this call is. You're going to take more time off the clock, or you're just going to try to throw it on 2nd and 7 and get the first down.
And it is Daniel Opoko who is down on the turf right now. As you see the extra training staff coming out to have a conversation with him, and is doing everything they can to make sure that he is stable and treated properly on the field. He was in on the play. It was involved maybe Darius Pickett flying kind of into the play alongside Cody Fajardo as Opoko was there. Looked like your typical kind of bang bang play, but obviously something bothering Opoko.
See him right in the middle. You see him right in the middle of the screen, I believe, right there. And he gets caught up as he goes and recovers. He's chasing. He took a knee to the head, or not sure.
The 11th overall pick in last year's CFL draft. Worse for wear and down on the turf right now, getting the examination done.
The most contact was to the head when he made the tackle.
So the Red Blacks defense takes a knee. And hoping for the best right now, as you see. It looks like they're calling for help from the ambulance that's in the corner of the end zone to come out and safely transport Daniel Opoko.
Let's hope he's okay. So the ambulance looks like now is driving on the field to help get him the help he needs.
Yeah, Bob Dice obviously out there concerned for his player as well. And you know, Lapo is a head coach. These are never the moments you don't get into football because you like standing on the field and worrying about guys that are in your building every day.
No, and you don't like at the end of the night after a game you're going to the hospital to go check on your players.
Right.
And that's what normally I would have had to do, and hopefully it's okay.
Gino Lewis comes out, no doubt says a prayer next to Daniel as he looks like they've secured his head and neck area. And Sean Burke crafting the Red Blacks organization, trying to find players he could bring in, and obviously highly values Opoko's talents, taking him, as I say, last year early on in that 2nd round. So obviously the protocol they go through is to make sure that they can secure and stably move the player into the ambulance, can be transported safely. But
strange, he did make the after he made the tackle, he kind of started to get up. Watching it back. Let me highlight him right there. If you see right there, he's going to chase. And when he makes contact with his head when he makes the tackle, but you do see him get up, start to get up. And then he does get up, but then I think he waves that something's wrong with him. So hopefully the best. And then he went down. You can see him right there, drop down.
And obviously you never want to speculate on anything like this, but you know, at times you see players that have a stinger, right? Which is kind of the football term, not just football, but anytime that kind of have a nerve that acts up, and guys will feel it through their shoulder and their neck and go down for a second, but it's, you almost never see a player that has, you know, that kind of colloquial term of a stinger that they require calling the ambulance out. So obviously talking things through with Daniel and deemed that they needed to be as safe as possible to make sure that he is transported the proper way.
See his teammates thinking about him and hoping he's okay.
It's so tough emotionally too, right? The game doesn't really matter all that much right now when your friend and teammates down on the turf, but a one-score game with 2:40 remaining, kind of get to the climax of the matchup, and that's not on Bob Dice's mind at all right now. As we bring in Luke Wilson from down on the field, and unfortunately, Luke, this is the reality. You know this, whether it's playing youth football, coaching youth football, high school, university, youth sports, NCAA, professional, NFL, CF. It's like at times stuff like this can happen, right? You've been through it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things as a player where it just snaps you out of the bubble that you live in. You know, we were talking earlier, I think you guys mentioned how this game has a lot of playoff implications as far as the crossover goes. And when you're in the middle of a tough season, you sit there and it becomes where the only thing that matters is football. And now all of a sudden something like this happens and you realize, you know, we all got families, we all got loved ones, and this game is so dangerous because, again, you can just get wrapped in this bubble of, hey, it's all about ball. And there are moments like this when the ambulance comes on where you just kind of snap out of it and puts things in perspective. And it's very, very, you know, it's a tough pill to swallow, and it's a reality that kicks in pretty aggressively.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think what you're also speaking about there, Luke, is the idea that, as you say, you almost feel invincible, right? It's like helmet and shoulder pads are on, and this is just what I do day after day after day. And then an ambulance rolls out onto the football field, and immediately you go, oh man, like it's never ever on your mind when you're actually going out to battle. Yeah,
and there's so many times that, you know, somebody goes down and you're like, okay, get them back up. You know, they'll be back. You usually don't think these type of scenarios where it needs this much attention happens, and when they do wake you up, like Luke said. You know, I think about myself, Marshall. Last year, probably 1 year ago this weekend, my son breaks his femur.
Yes.
And like I'm there coaching the game, and I'm like, no, get him back, get him off to the sideline. They're like, no, they're calling for an ambulance, and I'm like, excuse me.
Right.
And had a broken femur, and you know, so. Yeah, these type of situations are difficult, and it's difficult for the players. And it's, you know, I think about the Red Blacks organization. They've gone through some injuries, whether it be Jeremiah Masoli a couple of years in a row. Dustin Crum's lost time. So, you know, you're just thinking for the best, you know, and yeah, there's other opportunities. So.
Well, Jalen Acklin, another one, right?
Yes, last year.
You kind of got to stop the game and try to process it. But I guess the longer that the delay goes on as well, Luke, it's hard to get back into that fighting spirit that guys had a couple of minutes ago. It's just one of those realities of the situation, right?
Totally. And another thing, just to kind of add to what you two are both saying and echo on that, I was involved, a teammate of mine, Ricardo Lockett, who was in Dallas, and it ended up being the last snap of football he ever played. And obviously that could not be the situation here. I'm not speculating, but just from a player's perspective, not only is it your friend, but that idea that for all of us, this is all you've done your whole life. These are young men who have sacrificed pretty much every aspect of their life to play pro ball. And again, that just reality that it's one weird kind of tweak or movement or awkward hit away from potentially being over. It's tough. And you talk about having now to rebound and getting refocused. I vividly remember that game being like, it's probably the only football game in my life that I was like, I really don't feel like playing anymore. You know, we finished that game,
right,
but you're just we were with Lockett, you know, in spirit. You're thinking about the guy. It's very, very hard to be like, oh, okay, this just occurred. Let's just go finish this game off. Obviously, they're going to do that because they're professionals, but I promise you there's not a guy on this field right now that feels good about doing that.
Yeah, it's one of those things, too, Luke, that you know, like with that Ricardo Lockett situation is even, you know, you try to get your spirit back up and you get back into the game, and it's your job. You have to go back to work, but the second the game is done, whether you won or you lost, the locker room, all anybody wants to know is how is Daniel doing? How is Ricardo doing?
Totally. And it just... and even the energy down here on the field right now, guys, it's scary. You know, it's a scary ordeal. And again, I keep saying it puts things in perspective. You can see on the screen right now all the Ottawa players. there for their boy, it just really zaps you in a lot of different ways. And to be honest, it's not just after the game either. Kind of the whole week. Like, you go home tonight and you realize, like, that could have been me. And there's a lot of mental gymnastics playing this game, and this is kind of one of the worst ones you gotta figure out.
And one of the worst ones is that you're helpless. All these players are standing there, these big, great football players that have a lot of things to say with the outcome of the game. They can't help right here. They just gotta cheer them on.
Well, hoping for the very best for Daniel Opoku and the entire Red Blacks roster out to show their support for him right now. And as always, a tremendous salute to everyone that you see there with boots on the ground and doing the very best to give him the best care possible right now and make sure that he is safe and hopefully in the best condition moving forward. But the paramedics that are always on site, whether it be a high school game, as I say, university, otherwise, you never want to see them come out on the field. But when they are asked to jump in and address a situation, they are always on the spot and ready to answer the call, as you see with any first responder. As Cody Fajardo warming up with a 2nd and 7 ahead. And again, Luke, this is, you know, inside the 3-minute warning. Fajardo, they've probably been talking, maybe over talking about what the play call is going to be, because they've had so long here in the delay for Opoku to try and sort out what do we want to do and how do you readjust now to the situation.
Totally. And like you said, it's one of those moments where in about a minute or two here, when this ambulance leaves the field, you really have to kind of compartmentalize what just occurred, and it's going to be a very violent snap here. So 2nd and 7, there's 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. It is really not an easy thing to do. Now, I will say, in that Ottawa huddle right now, you're playing for your boy. So that is one thing you can kind of draw on, but it is a very, very tough situation, because this is going to be a game-changing play here on the 2nd down. If Edmonton gets this, they're obviously going to be able to chew up a lot of clock. And it's just such a strange dynamic when something happens, because you go from that moment to, like we just talked about, this is a big play coming up.
Yeah, difficult, very difficult to try to flush this and just go play football, but it's an unfortunate part of this sport. You have to do that.
Invaluable analysis there. Great to have Luke on our broadcast here on Friday Night Football as Andre Proulx, our referee, gets set to whistle this one in as they clear the field. And the Red Blacks defense up against the emotional turmoil of seeing their brother leave the field after 14-minute delay. Go back to work on 2nd and 7. Fajardo with the pressure on, throws it up for Curly Gittens Jr. It hung in the air and out of the Ottawa sky. Curly Gittens Jr. makes a game changer.
Number 3 receiver is going to go up, and he's going to run a corner route. You see Pickett running by with pressure, inside position. Very difficult. You cannot handle inside position.
Ottawa. This is their final timeout.
In a difficult spot as he's trying to cover from an inside-out position on the corner route. Cody buys enough time. The offensive line did a good job of blocking the D-line, blocking Pickett, and getting that throw for the explosive play.
Fajardo made a clutch couple of throws to Kale and Julian Grant a couple weeks ago on the road in Montreal for the victory. You see Julian Grant there celebrating alongside Curly Gittens Jr. Went to Sir Wilfrid Laurier Secondary School, suburb outside of Orleans here in the Ottawa area. So plenty of friends and family, no doubt, in attendance watching that as 19 made the grab. And now Justin Rankin will go for a gain of 2 on 1st down.
Santos Knox, really good job making the tackle, fighting off to create this 2nd and long situation. You know, with that throw, Cody Fajardo's 22 at 28, 270 yards. No touchdown, but 1 interception. But, like, again, he continues to show up every week with high percentage throws, staying on the field.
So 2nd and 7. They hit the big corner shot to Curly Gittens Jr. Now it's 2nd and 9. Already in field goal range to make it a 2-score game. Fajardo with pressure on. Will step forward. He's got room to run. Cody pumps, gets the first down, and slides his way to the turf. And 3-minute Cody continues to execute.
And this has been very good in this football game. In the first half, he had 3 carries for 37 yards. A couple of first downs using his legs. Once again, Red Blacks try to pressure. He finds a way to get out of there, scramble for the first down, and just keep taking time off the clock. That's the most important thing. Keep the ball inbounds. He doesn't throw it. He scrambles, goes down, creates the first down, but the clock continues to run.
CJ Colden wise to avoid the extra yardage penalty there, but regardless, clock rolls and Edmonton's offense fighting their way towards closing this one out on their own terms as Rankin gets thrown backwards. With a minute 26 remaining. A shake of the head there from Rankin, who would like to finish this one out. Pounding the rock, whether it be first down, touchdown, otherwise there's Vincent Blanchard watching from the sideline, waiting for his opportunity should his number be called. And on 2nd and 11. The Ottawa defense looking for a miracle to create a turnover, a stop, a tackle for loss, something to change this game back in their favor. And the party starter, it might not be enough, but the endless energy of Darius Pickett on display all the way to the end of this one.
You knew something different was happening. You can't tell on this picture right here, but Pickett's on the boundary. He normally doesn't, and then he blitzes off the edge. You got to know where he is. You see him blitzing off here, the receiver trying to get in there. Just can't do that. Keon Julian Grant's got to have an inside position. He doesn't. Pickett, nice play. There was a reason they lined him up into the weak side of the defense.
Timer, put the clock back at 1:05.
Anytime that guy is in the weak side of the defense is a reason. They're probably bringing him off the edge. You'd like Keon Julian Grant to be in a better inside position to make that block when you know you're definitely handing the football off.
A little late getting into position that time. And so now Fajardo with the ball cap on, stands on the sideline. Mark Killam sitting next to Mark Cobb, the line judge, on the sideline. And
timer, please reset the game clock to read 46 seconds.
Clock management here, and the field goal unit will come out. And it was this scenario, albeit from a significantly deeper distance, in Winnipeg last week when Khalil Pimpleton decided to go 117 yards to knot things up. That was on the road off a Sergio Castillo miss. 46 seconds remaining. Edmonton trying to put it on ice. Low snap. Hold was great despite pressure being on, and the kick is good. Flags come up. I wonder if that isn't trying to go over the top of the long snapper.
This is probably a pyramiding call, we think, as you try to jump. You're allowed to jump. You just cannot use either your own opponent, the opponent's body or your own body.
On Ottawa number 41. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a field goal.
How about the underhand catch on the hold that time? It's not exactly textbook on the delivery and execution of the field goal, but 3 is 3. It doesn't matter. So 30-20, Edmonton up over Ottawa. And some Red Blacks fans start to make their way towards the exits, but never say never.
Let's get one more look. This is a very obviously important hold. Great scoop, get it up.
Right on the middle of the plate, too.
Cole Snyder getting it done.
And never in doubt, Vincent Blanchard as the Laval Rouge et Or product knocked it through. Edmonton.
Cody should turn in to be the first quarterback to win 3 straight games since 2018, and Mike Riley did it.
Interesting. Jordan McSemick saying, I've never had an offseason where I designed an offense for a quarterback as unique as Trey Ford, and then a month in I couldn't use it. We had to switch gears and change things up as this ball kicks backwards, wisely jumped on by a Canadian veteran, Anthony Gosselin. With 39 seconds remaining and a 10-point deficit, this one might be too much for a Crumback.
20-26, 249 yards, 1 touchdown. I think what hurt, obviously, the Red Blacks a little bit, they did have a block punt. They had a punt return touchdown. I thought their second half was good. They were able to move the football, get some touchdowns. You know, Cody was 22 of 28, 270 yards.
From 20 of 26 as well, around 250. And crosses that mark now as Gino Lewis goes for a gain of 10 on the play. And a bye week up next for the Ottawa REDBLACKS, and then right back here taking on the BC Lions on the Friday after the Labor Day rivalry games. Sounds like Drew Brown will be back in the lineup at quarterback at some point in September, maybe as early as that next home game after the bye week, just giving him some time to get right as Crum checks it down underneath. William Stanback puts his head down and right into a wall of Joel DeBlanco alongside Niles Morgan as a couple of standout linebackers. And you see Brown there on the sideline. Tremendous play last week in Winnipeg, but right at the very end, scrambling away, running, backhand flip, all the rest, and just got caught up the wrong way, tweaked his knee. He stands on the sideline tonight in a hoodie and a ball cap. Brown pumps, wants to use the legs, spins away, and takes a seat.
Yeah, Drew Brown made 3 or 4 spectacular throws in that Winnipeg game, as well as those 2 crazy scrambles to make plays. So obviously he's got to be healthy for this team to continue to grow and move forward. And the bye week comes at a perfect time for that.
Dustin Crum underneath William Stanback. And the clock strikes zeros. And Cody Fajardo, 3 straight victories. The Edmonton Elks have now taken down Montreal on the road, Toronto at home, and come back out to the east and beat the Ottawa REDBLACKS as Mark Killam has their club rolling after a 1-6 start. Lapo, your final thoughts on this one and the total overlook of the kind of playoff picture now starting to take a trend towards potentially staring down the barrel of the crossover as we head towards Labor Day.
Well, I keep going back to, I did one of the first games after the bye for the Edmonton Elks. They've started to run the ball better. Justin Rankin has become a force. Cody Fajardo, once the change is made to Cody Fajardo, they're staying on the football field, getting completion, getting their plays. Special teams was outstanding. Javon Leake with the return touchdown. And, you know, they are getting better defensively. And, you know, on the other side for the REDBLACKS, bye week is good. Get Drew Brown healthy and go back and play football.
Gino Lewis saying hello to a couple of his ex-teammates, including Trey Ford, as Ottawa was looking to win 3 of their last 4 now. After the bye week, they had a 2-game win streak, followed by a 2-game slide against Winnipeg and Edmonton, while the Elks, powered by special teams and the efficiency of Cody Fajardo, teamed up with Justin Rankin. They have found a way to get back in the win column once again. That'll do it for us here in Ottawa. For Paul Lapalisse, Kensington Law, it's time for Sports Center with Mark Rowe and Matt Scooby.